Wiz, what a round of rugby league we've had. Hey guys, how you going today on BKRsport? I am back from Canberra. I'm ready to rock and roll here for a bit of a chat tonight, obviously, for the next hour and a half or so on the In the Sheds podcast. We just chat everything rugby league. We go over the results from the previous round. We talk all things about. I actually should check that we are actually going live here before I start buddy yammering on here. I think I am. I think I am live. That's good. But we usually sit here every single week and we just go through all these scores. You guys can shoot through your questions after I read through the scores and read through what's happened over the weekend. Obviously, your chat will come up on the screen and I will answer your question individually. And then obviously, I'm usually about 10, 15 minutes behind the chat as I get to all your questions. The best we can do, obviously, all night is basically just kick back and chill. It's a Monday night, man. Don't stress too much here. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're around here. Like I said, I was obviously in Canberra over the weekend. The Titans Raiders vlog was meant to come out today, but it'll come out tomorrow at 5 p.m. I just didn't have the time. I came back literally about 2-3 hours ago off the flight, and I'm exhausted after a big one. So that'll come out tomorrow at 5 p.m. and it is a good one. Obviously, lots of shit talk, and obviously we got caught up in the end, the old Titans. But overall, we still have a great time down there with my boy Clarkey. But let's get into the results here before we get into the chat. So obviously the Dragons and the Sharkies game, that was the first game on Thursday night, and the Sharkies won 36-12. Obviously fantastic performance there by Nico Hines. As you guys can see there in the in the poll, we do have the option of which players you think played the best throughout the round, and Nico Hines was one of them. Obviously, I tipped the Sharkies as a 1-12er, but they came home pretty strong in the end and were able to get a pretty easy win over the Dragons, especially down there at Wynn Stadium as well, where the Sharkies have got a horrible record over the years against the Dragons. Next up, obviously, we had the Warriors and the Tigers. Now, I tipped the Warriors here. Obviously, one of you guys came into my stream before the game started and basically forced me to tip the Tigers. I tipped the Warriors, but I was basically forced to tip the Tigers due to a donation. But the Warriors did win that game 16-12. Honestly, one of the worst games I've ever seen. Congratulations to the Warriors for the 2 points. As a Titans fan, I would have taken the 2 points in that game of the weekend. But obviously, we didn't. You guys did. Congratulations on getting that one. Tigers, obviously, they would have taken it as well. But the game was terrible, and both those teams looked absolutely horrific. So not a great deal to talk about in regards to that game besides the woefulness of both teams there. And it wasn't even wet conditions. It wasn't bad conditions. Next game, obviously, Friday night, the Rabbitohs took on the Roosters. I took the Rabbitohs 1-12 there, and they did win. 1-12, but a bit of a shock. Obviously, 0-2. Looking to bounce back here against a team that got a good record against their biggest rivals, 114 years of history. Wowee, what a result there. Obviously, they won that one 28-16. Latrell Mitchell had a good game. Cameron Murray was exceptional. Cameron Murray was absolutely brilliant in that game, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do to really pull this team upwards. They were 0-2 going to this one. Now they're obviously going to be 1-2. The Saturday game, I took the Panthers 13+, and they did win 38-20. Big result for them there. Obviously, Mitch Barnett, idiot, obviously deliberate, just stupid, probably gone for like 8-10 weeks, something like that, for that elbow that got him sent off before half-time. I thought the Knights actually did reasonably well, considering that they did have a man down, but with that being said, that just screws their confidence massively because the Panthers still had no Fisher Harris. They had no Brian To'o. They had no Nathan Cleary. Their players out left, right, and centre, and yet they still got that win. They scored 40 points against them. So although the Knights were admirable in defeat, they did well. They still got beaten 13+ and conceded nearly 40 points, which is something that we're not seeing much this season. Actually, that's the highest amount of points that any team has given up this season, tied with a game that we're about to get up to very, very soon. The Eels obviously got a shock win over the Storm. Now, I did take the Storm 1-12 there in the members-only tipping section, so I definitely tell you when I do get them wrong. But yeah, wow, well done to the Eels. Ray Stone obviously did his ACL, which will be out for the rest of the season, so he'll be at the Raiders next year, I believe. I can't remember. But yeah, where is he? Where's Ray Stone go? No, he's the Redcliffe Dolphins. Sorry, not Raiders. He's at the Dolphins next year. So yeah, 28-24 there, and big win down there in Melbourne. For some reason, Melbourne just can't seem to get it over the Eels right now. But the Storm have a lot of problems themselves. The Storm do have a lot of issues that people aren't really talking about. I saw someone on a stream that was doing with Kalaki yesterday say the Storm are the only team that don't have many problems. I'm like, oh, yeah, they do. They haven't looked good in any of their games yet. They haven't looked good against the Rabbitohs. They didn't look good against the Tigers, and they didn't look good against the Eels. So they probably had their best game against the Eels, and that was the game they lost. So, riddle me that one. Then we move on to the Raiders and Titans game. Obviously, that's my game there. Titans went out to a 22-0 lead and, choked that one away. It is something that I expect with this team throughout this year. We're a brand new experiment. We're going to be talking a lot about that one today. I guarantee it. Over the next hour and a half, I guarantee there'll be a lot of questions about that one. The Raiders came back. Tommy Starlin absolutely killed us. Unfortunately, yeah, we just weren't able to get that momentum back. And with a bunch of young kids who have an average, age of about 21, 22 as a team, our captain is 22, it's very difficult to go down to an away game. And when that momentum is significant in favor of a team like the Raiders, who have a lot of experience in their team, it was just too much for the Titans to handle. And obviously they went away with it in the end. Look, I understand that there's apparently some call that was wrong, but for the referee, for the Raiders, and they scored a try that's cool. We still get 24 unanswered points, basically in that second half. So you can't really use the referees as an excuse in that one. Second last game there, Cowboys obviously beat the Broncos 38-12. I tipped the Broncos 1-12. Broncos fans, just wild how much shit I copped on Instagram. Wild how much shit I copped from Broncos fans Saturday night before their game against the Cowboys, which they probably obviously should have been focusing on. And, they lost this one by 13 plus and gave up. I think this is the biggest deficit so far this season for any team. Yeah, 38-12 would be the biggest deficit that any team has suffered so far this year. Look, I see a lot of people complaining about Reynolds after 2 games. It's wild. It's 3 games in, lads. Relax in regards to Reno. Relax in regards to this Broncos team. This was expected. It doesn't mean they're not making the 8 this year, but in the same sense, like this scoreline probably wasn't expected. But the fact of the matter is the Broncos are still going to lose games this year, and they're still going to lose quite a few games this year. They aren't as good as the Broncos fans immediately thought, right? They are better than they were last year. But then again, the Cowboys, obviously they won this game, but they haven't played anybody either. They played the Raiders, the Bulldogs, and the Broncos. Like, come on, man. But the Cowboys obviously put away with 2 of those teams, so they're definitely not going to be getting the wooden spoon this year. But that being said, like both these teams, like firstly the Cowboys, obviously now they're starting to think they're top 4, relax, relax, and the Broncos, now their expectations have dropped down to what it probably should be. So I guess we'll talk about that one quite a little bit. And then on the final game, we had the rain-drenched game at Brookie between the Seagulls and Bulldogs, where the Seagulls won 13-12 there. Look, the Doggies did pretty well, but the rain always impacts the game so severely in favour of the team that is usually the worst of the two. It really helps them out, especially a Dogs team there. And they nearly got it, and I honestly think they threw the game away. Again, I think they could have beat the Broncos, but I think they threw the game away. I think they could have beat Manly, but they threw the game away there. The Dogs have... they should have actually probably thrown the game away against the Cowboys too with that last-minute try, but it didn't happen. So the Dogs have been very lucky to at least have 1 win to their name. But yeah, the Dogs just haven't learned yet. But that's what you got to expect because they are a brand new team. But let's hit that thumbs up button, guys. Smack it. Let's subscribe if you're new around here. And let's get into the chat here and see what you guys are saying about the round that just was. Broncos says, g'day. Jay Hayes says, Cowboys smash. Shut up. Arthur North Pig Hunt says, I'm not even putting the comments up on the screen here. There you go. Now I put the comments on the screen. So he says, g'day. Good on you, mate. Jay Hayes says, Cowboys smash. Here he is. Up North Pig Hunt says, how you doing? Mate, I'm tired. I am absolutely tired. But we've got a big night, big couple of days ahead of us before we have that Tigers game. Titans-Tigers on Thursday night at Seabuster Stadium, which I'm super looking forward to. We need a bounce-back win, man. And obviously the Cowboys, not the Cowboys, the Tigers are a team you want to be getting that one against. So I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger here so I can see it. Tommy says, how was your time with Clark in Canberra? It's good, man. Obviously, I stayed at his place. We did those 2 streams yesterday. We did a Timmy 2 stream on his TikTok and whatnot. We went out for breakfast on Sunday morning, which is, nice legs Benny there, nice and cool in Canberra. It's muggy up actually up here. I want to turn this fan on, actually. I'm going to turn the fan on. It's muggy up here in the Gold Coast, and it's raining. Terrible weather up here. So, a bit different. But no, I had a great time down there, and looking forward to seeing him again whenever we go down. Cooper Jobson says, birthdays. The Parramatta fans are starting to get rowdy. Still giving up like 30 points again, nearly. But they're still giving up minimum. They've given up, the least they've given up is 18 against the Sharks, 24 against the Storm, and 28 against the Titans. They definitely love to give up a few points there, Parramatta, but they do also love to score a few points themselves, obviously. But, good win against the Storm. The Storm looked very shaky all season. The Titans game, we all know how that one should have ended. And the Sharks game, they obviously lost. So, did they? What was the score? No, I think they gave up 24 to the Sharks, didn't they? They gave up 24 to the Sharks? I think Eels might have got 18. I can't remember. That was last week, obviously. I'm not too sure. But yeah, still problems with Parramatta. But it was a good win down there in Melbourne because Melbourne's not an easy place to go. Melbourne have their problems. Speedster says, let's go Parramatta, the Squeals. It was a great game and overall a great round. Cowboys played surprisingly very good. They did. And that's the impressive thing for me, man, is that although it was the Broncos they played, it was simply just the Broncos that they've played and the Raiders that they've played and the Dogs they've played, right? They didn't look good against the Dogs, but they looked exceptional against the Raiders, but the Raiders looked that bad. And the Broncos game, I actually don't think the Broncos were horrific for the most part, but the Cowboys were just too good for the most part. I understand what people were saying in regards to Cowboys versus the refs with that try. I thought it was offside too if you watch that stream, but we kind of just moved on from it. It didn't really matter because the Cowboys were just too good in the end, obviously, and ran away with it. But yeah, look, I was impressed with how the Cowboys played compared to what I thought of them pre-season. Obviously, I had them as the wooden spoon favourites, and I've got them as the BKRsport buddy NRL sweepstakes. So I would love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong if they go and win the comp this year. But yeah, it's interesting. Ryan Douglas' best individual performance for the poll is Dylan Brown. Nope, Dylan Brown's not on that list. He is not on the list. Mcguire says best performance of the weekend with the Mods versus all the Muppets on Sunday. That's a great comment there. That is an absolutely fantastic comment there from Mcguire. It was a brilliant day there for the moderators. Absolutely slapping people left, right, and center on those streams. It was just it was something special. It was just something special. Ryan Zagros says heartbreaking for Ray Stone, went out a legend. Yeah, obviously for Eels fans, that was nearly a perfect way. I know you don't want to ever see someone get an ACL or into themselves, but that was a perfect way of an ending. Realistically, he scored 2 tries, one to tie the game, and then one to tie the game? No, one to take the lead. Storm tied the game, and then that very lucky try. Let's be honest, Parramatta. But with that being said, they still scored the try there. You make your own luck. Mitchell Moses has been known to hit that boast, but yeah, a super lucky try there. But they did get the win in the end. For Lumps, I saw that Storm loss coming. They didn't look convincing, and they got the loss versus a better side. I still think the Storm are a better side long term, but with that being said, yeah, the Storm were definitely due a loss after their first 2 performances. The only problem was that obviously it was in Melbourne, so I was still wanted to take the home side there. And the Eels obviously have still given up quite a few points, but the Storm, I just want to remind everyone, the Storm did obviously have about 2 or 3 tries taken off them in that first 10 minutes. I think one of them probably should have been a try, but the other 2 I think were no tries, which was fair. But the Storm looked very hot early days and just couldn't seem to actually score. They did score 3 times, but it got taken away all 3 times before they finally scored one. And then, Eels hit back straight away. And long story short, it was a good game. It was a close game, but, the Eels came up trumps in the end. Faraz Alam says, how was the atmosphere in Canberra GIO? Just want to throw this out there. If the Raiders didn't come back and win that game, they were quiet as shit for literally probably 85% of that game. We were louder than the Raiders fans there. We were louder in the front line than the Raiders fans there. The only reason that the Raiders fans even got going at any stage, was when they were within 6 points. Besides that, they were dead. It was truly dead. If you go and look at Sam Revell's video in regards to the Viking clap, you can even hear me in that. Like, you can hear me screaming out Titans in between that. Raiders, you gotta, come on, man. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that you come back, you gotta bring a better atmosphere than that, because I know that when we're at Titans games and we're losing, we bring a better atmosphere than that. And that's what I was disappointed with the Raiders. But it was a good game, nonetheless. It was a good atmosphere, nonetheless, overall, because of the comeback. But I was very disappointed in kind of the fact that, yeah, I didn't hear any chants from the Raiders at all throughout the entire game until the last 5 minutes of the game. It was wild. It truly was. It was something else. Lucas Dennis says, up at the Cowboys. Get around to Cowboys. There they go. Frazzle says, some people even said drop Reynolds. It's wild. Yeah, people just seem to not have an understanding whatsoever about how the game works. They don't realize that, okay, he's played 2 games now for a brand new team. Firstly, he shouldn't be expected to be the be-all and end-all. He should be a key influential figure. But you've got to remember as well that the team around him is not that fantastic. And people have been delusional in their first 2 rounds. Delusional is the key word there for Broncos fans. They have simply been delusional. The Broncos have been better, and that is a fact. That is a fact. They have been better. They beat the Rabbitohs. That's cool. Rabbitohs haven't looked great besides that one Roosters game this year. And then the other game, the Rabbitohs lost. They lost to the Storm there. So you could actually say the Rabbitohs were a bit better. But with that being said, we know how the Storm go. There's a lot of things going on this season that make it really confusing. And that's why you wait till 6-7 rounds in. So the Broncos have been better. The second game, who'd they play? They just came through over the end over the Dogs, who we know are a bit 50-50. And then they were thinking they were top 4, top 6, already. And it's like, relax, man. I'm waiting until after round 5 and 6 when you play the Roosters and the Panthers. That's when I'm going to see where the Broncos are at as a team. Once those two teams come, if you get one win out of those two games, then I'll think, okay, this team genuinely could make the 8. If you beat one of the Roosters or Panthers, you can make the 8. The thing is that the Panthers, though, they're a bogey team for you because you always come close against them, but you never actually beat them. The Broncos never actually beat the Panthers, but they get very close every single time. And the Roosters, obviously, that record speaks for itself. But yeah, people obviously always like to make their choice emotionally. They don't wait it out, sit it out. And this is what we're experiencing with the Titans fans too at the moment, is that people just don't understand enough about sport to just be patient for a little bit. Like, things aren't going to go like this. The Panthers did not become the Panthers like this. They were shithouse 10 years ago. Gus Gould changed that shit. It took them nearly 8 years. It took them nearly a decade to get to the point where they are now. Right? And the Titans are in this exact situation. The Broncos, you can't just go from last place to the top 8 and be a genuinely competitive team, in 1 year. You can't do that. It's not how it works. It's not how the sport works. But if they do that, congratulations, it's a miracle. But there are a heap of better teams than the Broncos right now, and the Broncos still have a heap of potential to go. Farnworth, very underrated. Love Farnworth, but overall that team is not as good as people have made out for the beginning part of the season. But the majority part is coming from the Broncos, and then obviously people are listening to it, and that's cool. You can have an opinion. Your opinion is fine, but there is so much longer to go here with Broncos before they are a genuinely competitive team. But like I said, the Titans fans are going through the exact same thing with muppets who have no idea what they're talking about, who throw people under the bus and tell players they have to leave straight away. And, this guy's 19. He's had a couple of rough games, so let's throw him to the... Yeah, stupid, man. It really is. Fraser Lumps, I don't like how people are saying the Cowboys look like a threat or a danger to the top sides. Like, we know they ain't going to get the spoon. My views of them on them outside the bottom 4. I think the Cowboys are still probably around that bottom 4, but outside the bottom 4, I'd still probably I moved them from 16 probably to maybe around the 11 mark. The Cowboys are nowhere near a threat to the top teams. They lost to the Bulldogs. They beat the Raiders and they beat the Broncos. Like, the Cowboys have been impressive for what they've had in front of them, right? They've had the Broncos, who were third last year. They had the Bulldogs, who were last year. And they had the Raiders, who were 10th last year. So the Cowboys, although they've got Jeremiah Nano, who scored 3 tries and was fantastic, Tad Townsend and Dearden was fantastic. And they seem to work a little bit together, Taddy Townsend and Dearden. Hamisa hasn't really been able to get into the competition so far this season. I like how this Cowboys team was set up relatively decent, but it's still not going to be threatening any of the big teams because they haven't played a big team yet. There has not been a big team that they've played yet. All 3 of the teams they've played have been bottom 8 teams, and the Raiders, they're everyone now thinks they're a genuinely good team now because of their second half, but they forget about the first half where the Raiders were absolutely diabolical. The Titans have been known to be throwing away those kind of leads. So back to the Cowboys. Overall, the Cowboys have been better, just like the Broncos, but they are still down there at the bottom of the table until not the bottom, but until we see them take down a legitimate team. And the funny thing is, I'm pretty certain this week, I think it might be this week, in regards to them playing their first legitimate team, isn't it? Isn't it the Roosters or something like that? It is the Roosters, yeah. If the Cowboys get a win here, if the Cowboys get a win this week, I will be impressed. I will say, you know what? I genuinely believe the Cowboys are maybe a threat for the top 8 if they beat the Roosters. Maybe, because I'm still waiting 5-6 rounds, but we're nearly into this is round 4 now, so you got to start to think about those decisions in the next couple of rounds. You're starting to know where teams are going to be at, because we do see these kind of surprises each and every year. Sash and Kellen says, do you think the Tigers will release Luke Brooks when Adam Dewey comes back, or will they keep him at the club? I'm thinking Dewey probably goes to the Senators, to be honest. I think that Tigers have already gone too far with Brooks. I don't think they're going to get rid of Brooks now. They've basically stood by him, and if they got rid of him now, it would be just an absolute throw in the face of the club for the last 3 years, like of them just getting tortured by the fans and tortured by the NRL community. And they're saying, no, we're going to stick with him. We're going to get through with him. We're going to get the job done. And then for them to just throw him out and say, oh, you go here. And then imagine he becomes successful at another club. I don't think they're willing to make that risk, because the Tigers are already a meme as it is. If the Tigers throw that one away and become even further of a meme, I'm telling you, Tigers fans are going to lose their mind. They've waited 11 years to make the finals. I have Tigers fans talking shit to me about this week. Like, Tigers fans, my advice to you is just bide your time and wait until your team has made the finals, or at least is somewhat competitive again, because the shit talk that I'm getting makes zero sense. Like, it makes zero sense. don't talk shit right now, Tigers fans. And most of them should, and most of them don't. But the fact of the matter is that some do, and it doesn't make sense. But overall, I think Luke Brooks will probably stay there because I don't think the Tigers are willing to kind of show that they made the wrong decision. Broncos says, I have to say, I didn't expect the Cowboys to take the win, but I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah, it was surprising, man. You know, it definitely was surprising. I'm not surprised that they won. I'm surprised they won by as much as they did. You know, I'm surprised. I said Broncos 1-12, and if you're ever tipping a team 1-12, that means that you give the other team a chance to win because it's a small margin. If you're giving the big margin, then you're not really giving the other team a chance to win. So, yeah, exactly right. Fraser Lum says, you tied from the travel from Canberra to Gold Coast. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's been a big couple of days. Yanni Mavita says the doggies, although they aren't still great, they've improved quite a lot. Everyone's improved. And this is the thing that I've been saying to you guys all season long. And now I'm seeing, other pages start to pick up on this. This is the thing that I try and remind you guys, right? Now I'm seeing pages in the community start to say this is the closest season yet. And it's like, well, I've been saying this the whole preseason. I've been saying this since last year. It's not rocket science that this was going to be a much improved year. You saw the Broncos go out and make a big splash with a big halfback. You saw the Cowboys go and try to improve their team by bringing in Townsend. They've tried to, mix a few things up. They're trying to get Tamalolo a bit more of the ball now, as we saw on the weekend. We've seen the Titans obviously really, build through this experiment. Now, this is the three Queensland teams. They're building through this experiment, and they're going to live or die by the sword in regards to that experiment. The Warriors went out and got Shaun Johnson, who hasn't been able to play for them yet, but they've still got a decent team, but they just haven't been able to go home yet, but they will be very, very soon. The Sharks made some big splashes from Nico Hines Nico Hines and Finucane and, not Matty Burton. Gee whiz, there was another player there. The fact of the matter is that, you start looking at every single club and you think all those bottom 8 teams made improvements besides the Tigers. The Tigers are the only team that didn't make an improvement. That's the only team. That's literally the only team that didn't make an improvement. And it's mad because that's the one team that needed the most improvement of the lot. It's just, yeah, it's been so painfully obvious that this year was going to be the closest yet. And yet now people are only just starting to realize it. Lucas Jenner says, no, the Cowboys are middle of the ladder team, I think. Well, I think they're still below a little bit of the middle of the ladder, but they've been okay to start. Joseph says, Tigers and Warriors be fighting for the wooden spoon after that performance. I think the Warriors will be a bit higher than that, but I think for the time being, it's not a bad shout. I think people are biting a little bit too quick on the Warriors. They are a second half of the season team. Especially when they get their home games, they are going to put 100 past the Tigers when they get that first home game that I'm going to go to. They're going to put 100 past them. They put 500 past the Tigers in that first home game, Mount Smart. They lose that game. It's the most disappointing loss in the history of any sport ever if the Warriors lose their first home game to the Tigers. Speed says there's been no real bad team so far. Yes, there has been. They're called the West Tigers. They have been absolutely diabolical the last 2 weeks. They were okay against the Storm, still lost 26-16. They were diabolical against the Knights, and they were horrific against the Warriors. So I completely disagree with you there. But you can make arguments for the Warriors. You can make arguments for who's the other teams down the bottom down there. Obviously, you can make arguments for the Dragons. You can make arguments for who else is there. I can't even think all the other teams down that bottom area of the table. Well, obviously, Broncos, Cowboys, Cowboys are second right now. You can make arguments for pretty much everyone, but no, mate, to the Tigers. No, mate. Jackson McLean said, how do the Titans stop playing one half but not the other? Because it happened a bit last year. Yeah, and this is what I said. And you're going to watch the vlog tomorrow, guys, and you're going to understand that I called this at halftime. I literally called it at halftime. I said, I am not guaranteeing. I know this team too well to guarantee we've won this game yet. I said it to everyone that was with me, everyone that we were in the bay. I said, I can't guarantee you that we win this game because I know this team too well. I know that it's always a bad half. And people are getting confused right now in regards to the bad half always being the second half. The bad half for the Titans is not the second half. There is just always going to be a bad half. And this is what the first 2 games proved. Now, it's not so much that the Titans didn't give up a try in those first 2 games in the second half. It's more about the fact that the first half was the bad half and the second half was the good half in those 2 games. And this third game proved to me that it's not that second half. It's just that was the bad half because our good half was our first half this week and our bad half was the second half. So I'm not too sure how this is going to work here for the Titans. But my biggest thing right now with Gold Coast is that the fans need to understand that this is going to happen this year. This will happen. They will lose games this year. They will embarrass us at points this year. They will look young, fresh, and unable to handle the momentum switches of games because they don't have the experience to turn the tables back in their favor, like a Cameron Smith, even Jackie Whiten, obviously, was able to do it, like a Tommy Starling, who was just able to brilliant. He's not crazily experienced, but like just that was incredible what he was able to do on the weekend. They just don't have the experience. And this is what's going to happen this year. The Titans are building for 3 to 5 year plan to be competing within that 3 to 5 year plan for the longevity success of the next decade after that. Right. So any time from now to 2024, if the Titans aren't successful by 2024 and actually a genuine competitor, then you can annihilate me. You can annihilate the club and you can say you guys were wrong. Everything was wrong. You did the wrong thing. And now it's time to move on from that. And the Titans have now failed over the last 3-4 years of planning for something that just simply didn't work. And then you've got to go back to the drawing board. If it happens in 2 years, 2024, and they're not competitive then, that's when you can start to slaughter everyone involved with the club and start saying, get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy, and have to blow it up and start again, which will suck, which will be painful, absolutely painful. But the fact of the matter is the Titans knew what they were getting into. They're going to stick with the same spine. We believe in Aaron Clark. He's been one of our better players this year. Aaron Clark has been one of the better players of the Titans this year. Toby Sexton's been great. Bremer's obviously been back for 2 games now. Jaden Campbell, obviously, he's having a few struggles. But with that being said, he's 19 years old. The average spine of the team, I think the spine average age is like 21 or 20. The spine, as an average age, is about 21 or 20. It's ridiculous. So this is what I'm saying. They are building for 3 to 5 years to then go on a 10-year competitive reign like the Panthers are doing. That's the model they're basing it off. Will it work? We don't know. But I'm going to back that team in until 2024. In 2024, if we're in the same situation, that's when I'll start to think, okay, maybe it was the wrong decision. But like Carla says, as a Penrith fan, I love the combination of Targo and May on the left edge with To'o coming back in roughly 6 weeks. I think moving To'o to the right wing over Staines would be a great move. Thoughts? I think Taylor May's been fantastic. And obviously had a fantastic weekend against the Knights. And Isaac Targo was unreal too. So, look, I don't necessarily disagree with that, man. I really look forward to seeing it. The Panthers' depth is unreal. And this is what the Titans model is being based off, like I just said. But the Panthers' depth is unreal. So with To'o coming back, there's so much depth there to bring in a whole new team in that back line that will be even better than what we saw on the weekend. It's just Charlie Staines is a do the job. And a lot of people would actually argue he's not that great, but he benefits from the back line of the Panthers. But you're actually putting Brian To'o with the best wing of the comp, and Taylor May, who is an amazing up-and-comer, and then Targo is an amazing up-and-comer in that same team. And then on the other side, who's on the other side? I can't think who's on the other side. And then Crichton, obviously, in the center as well. That is just an incredible backline alongside Dylan Edwards, who is super underrated, ridiculously underrated there. So, no, I'm looking forward to what the Panthers can do, especially when To'o comes back. And the Panthers are definitely, they're the only team that really look any good this year. They are literally the only team that really look like there's no real criticisms. You can make criticisms about literally every team. The Panthers, not so much. For us alums, Broncos got to get Catewell more involved, and Stags had a shocker, but some positive is on Herbie Farnworth. Massive positive on Herbie Farnworth. In my tier rankings, you guys keep saying, well, wow, you actually, see Farnworth for what he is. Broncos fans, appreciate that I've seen Farnworth for what he is. And it's been like that for years. Farnworth is super underrated. I definitely have him for the England team. And, I'm super looking forward to what Farnworth can do with this team. Obviously, he does need to benefit off his inside man, but that's every centre and every winger. Catewell is a do-your-job kind of back row. I will keep reminding you guys this. Catewell was never elite. He can be maybe lower tier quality if you really want to argue it, but we put him in the middle of do the job. He is not anywhere near as big and influential as everyone has previously thought with the Broncos fans and even other fans too. I'm not even just shitting on Broncos fans there. Many people have thought that he is this next level guy. He wasn't even the next level guy at the Panthers. He obviously did the job for Queensland and did the job for the Panthers, but he was never that next level guy. Kicks a field goal and everyone thinks, they lose their mind. That's going to be the only field goal he probably ever kicks for you guys. That'd probably be the only ever field goal he kicks for you guys. It was, congratulations. It's an amazing moment. I was there. But it's probably going to be the only field goal. He's not meant to be kicking field goals. Stags will be fine. Don't worry about Stags. He'll be fine. It's goalies to put some respect on the Cowboys' name. No, I will not put some respect on the Cowboys sandwich if they play a team that has not been in 2 teams in the bottom 4 from last year, and the other team was a 10th placement in the Raiders. I will put some respect on the Cowboys' name when they take on a team that is a genuine team, right? And that's the Roosters this year. That's the Roosters this week. If they beat the Roosters or are competitive against the Roosters, I'll be like, okay, cool. But no, it's godly. No, I'm not going to give Cowboys credit for beating the Broncos, for beating the Dogs. That's 2 bottom 3 teams last year, and the Raiders, who have obviously regressed because people are going to say, but they came back against the Titans. But they had to come back against the Titans. They shouldn't have ever been down 22-0. No team should ever be down 22-0. And no team should ever give up a 22-0 lead. So both those teams have a lot to work on in regards to that one. Ryan Zargle says, and now we lost 18-16 to the Sharks, like 40 seconds remaining. Yeah, exactly right. But in the same sense, the Sharks did kind of deserve that one. Oh, geez, I'm already 20 minutes behind the comment section here. But I'm doing my best, guys. I'm doing my best. Lachlan Hampton says, the competition looking amazing, looking exciting so far this year. Absolutely, it is. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I just starred Brocco's buddy comment. I don't know what that does. I'm on Restream and I just put a star on it. You are a star, Brocco. He says, I think the only teams that have been horrible are the Warriors and Tigers. I don't think the Warriors have been horrible, man. I think the Warriors had spurts against the Dragons. I think against the Titans, it's very difficult to read because that game was in absolutely ridiculous conditions in regards to the heat. Speak for Michigarians again. That was absolutely disgusting conditions there in regards to the heat. And the Warriors, unfortunately, they... The thing is that Warriors fans always like to blame the referee, right? Always like to blame the referee. Pretty much every NRL fan likes to blame the referee, right? But I see that game as a lot less than a lot of other people do because of the fact that I know for a fact, because I watched it live. I was there at the game. I saw the pass go forward for the second try. And then you guys are the ones who actually say that the third try for the Warriors was a knock on there. I didn't see it. I haven't actually even watched the highlights of that because I just don't care about it enough. But you guys actually pulled it out to me and said that was definitely knock on. So it's a little. It shouldn't have probably been as close as it was, but in the same sense, I don't think the Warriors have been that bad, man. I just think that they haven't been able to get any momentum going because they keep changing their halves. They've got Harris Savita and Ash Taylor 1 week. They got buddy Cody Nicarima and Sean Johnson 1 week. They got buddy Cody Nicarima and Harris Savita the other week. Like they've 3 weeks. They've had 3 different halves pairings. Like you're never going to win. You're not going to do well by changing your halves pairings every left, right, and center. So no, I disagree with the Warriors, but they're still not looking great. I would, especially that last game. That last game, they looked just as bad as the Tigers. It's guys, we got Goats, young players, Murray, Talangi, Hammer, and second rower hat trick. That's cool. Against the third last place team of last year. Third last place team of last year. Relax. We are round 3. You've played nobody yet. Once you play somebody, I will give you the respect. I have already said that I'm impressed with how the Cowboys have won those 2 games already. But they still lost to the Dogs at home. Don't forget that one happened. That 6-4 was absolutely diabolical, and that was round 1. Cool, we forgive that. But relax. You're not going to get this. You're going to be a top 4, top 8 team until you take on somebody who has an IQ above 40. Like, gee whiz. Come on, man. You got to just calm it down a little bit, buddy, up there in North Queensland. Lucas says, I feel if the Cowboys find confidence, they can sort of fight towards the 8, I think. I disagree. I don't think the Cowboys are going to be there. But if people think that, that's fine. But you're basing it off of 3 rounds against teams that are literally nobodies. Round 16 last year, I had every Tom, Dick, and Harry on this channel coming out and telling me the Cowboys are going to make the 8 because they won a few games against nobodies. They won a few games. I think they won 7 games against nobodies. And then I kept saying to you guys, they're tougher opposition are coming. Relax. And then you guys are like, no, they've won like 6, 7 games in a row. They're coming for the 8. And then they finished second last. You just got to look. You can only play who's in front of you, and that's fair, and that's granted, and it's impressive. But wait 5, 6, 7 rounds before you start saying that this team, who was predicted for last because they've played a couple of no-hoper teams, are now going to be making the top 8. Faraz Alam says, Lucas, oh no, here we go. Look, the Cowboys seem better than a bottom 4 side, but top 8. I know. Jackson McLean says, how do us Titans play both halves, not just one, because it happened a lot last year too? Yeah, I've already read that comment out. Rapid Fire TV. By the way, guys, don't repeat comments because I will get through them. I'm just very far behind because there's a lot of them, and I answer them as in-depth as I possibly can. The later we go, the less I do go in-depth. That's when I start to go a little bit quicker through them and choose which ones are better. But yeah, obviously, for now, don't repeat comments because I will get to them eventually. I'm 20 minutes behind when you guys sent these ones through. Rapid Fire TV says, who do you think are the genuine contenders this year? Genuine contenders so far are going to be the Panthers. Obviously, I would say I'm still happy to say the Eels are up there. I'm still happy to say the Storm are up there. Still happy to say the Roosters are up there. The sneaky, obviously, is the Sharkies. If the Titans could fix their defense, they would be. But it's still too early. It's way too early. They're not going to be doing much this year. But if they could fix their defense, because you got to remember through 3 halves of footy, through 120 minutes of footy, they've given up 8 points. And so that means the Titans actually have some defense in them. They just can't put it together for the full 80 minutes. The first half of the Eels game, first half of the Warriors game, and the second half of the Raiders game, they get a shit ton of points. But the second half of the Eels game, the second half of the second half of the Warriors game, and the first half of the Raiders game, they've given up a total of 8 points throughout those 120 minutes. So people are going to choose the negatives to pick out on. There are a lot of negatives coming out of that Raiders game, but there is also still positives. But they're just so young, man. They're just so young. But I'm not willing to put them as a contender. I'm not even ready to put Sharks yet. We're 3 rounds in, man. We're 3 rounds in, so I'm still sticking with those top 4. But I don't have Manly. I'll put it that way. I don't have Manly. Ryan's like, only 2 got taken away, obstruction and double movement, which was fair. I'm not too sure what that's about. Jay says, someone call a plumber. Frazby clogging up the chat again. Fraz says, please, bro, leave me alone. I'm trying to get involved in the chat. I love my footy fire. I'm helping him by keeping him busy. Oh, it's funny, man. Jay Hayes and Faraz, name a better duo. Jimmy James, they sound like they were booing hard in the first half. Who? The Raiders fans? I don't know. Shit, I don't know. Maybe. Shit, I didn't hear it. Captain James, I see people bagging on Titans when they go for teams like Broncos and Tigers. Oh, welcome to my buddy Instagram, mate. Welcome to BKRsport on Instagram. Oh, man. My Instagram is clogged up with it. And then people are like, oh, why do you talk so much shit? It's like, because I'm copping shit. That's why I'm talking so much shit. And I'm getting other Instagram pages going and putting laughing emojis and shit, and then getting all their mates and stuff to come and send me bullshit in my DMs. Like, it's mad, bro. Like, it's mad. And then they're like, oh, it wasn't me, bro. It wasn't me. I never did it. It really is something. People are something. What's up next? Luke Jenner says all the teams in the comp are getting better. Bingo. Tommy says, does Broncos fans still chat shit? Absolutely. Not so much this week, but recent weeks, absolutely. Fraz Alam says, yeah, they actually, yes, this week until Sunday. And then when Sunday happened, they went back into their little bloody holes. But besides Sunday, yeah, they've been talking quite a lot of shit throughout most of the season. Fraz Alam says, yeah, they do, but I'm asking, okay, so I'll be more, I don't know, sorry. Jackson McLean says, how long does Michael Mcguire have left, you think? The weird thing is that Tim Sheens keeps backing him in, man. So I don't know what to say in regards to Madge, because he is riding on the successes of something that happened 8 years ago with the Rabbitohs, with a whole different team. You know, he is riding on that success, and unfortunately, he's not experienced at the Tigers. I don't know why the Tigers are willing to stick through with him. He is obviously not getting the job done right. They're now getting situations with Robbie Farah, but that's not the first time that he's obviously had to run in with a coach. You know, there's a Luke Brooks situation where he's so disillusioned and out of touch with reality, coming out and pretending like Luke Brooks is going to be a rep player. Like, the guy who's over the top of Luke Brooks is Nathan Cleary at both New South Wales and also at Australia level. We're not playing City vs Country anymore, so what rep level is Luke Brooks meant to be getting? Because I can tell you right now, in New South Wales, you've got Cleary above him. You've got Mitchell Moses above him. You've got Adam Reynolds above him. That's just 3 guys I'm going to name off the top of my head. And then we go into, if you want to talk about Australia, there's those three guys, plus also there's Daly Cherry Evans. Like, damn, dude. Like, truly, damn. It's just disillusioned. So, I don't know, man, but they're definitely on a downward trajectory, and it's hard considering they were already downward. The Speaker says, did you tip Melbourne and also Panthers night score line didn't show how close it was? I disagree. I disagree with the common consensus here that game was a close game. I think the Knights did better than I was expecting, but I disagree. I think the Panthers were pretty much in control for the most part of that game. And even when the Knights scored that try Brent within 12, it was never going to happen. Like, it was never going to happen. But people can feel like the Knights were close in that game. That's fine. I think if Barnett didn't get sent off, it would have been a lot closer. But Barnett did get sent off, and it was a fair sending off. So you can't really complain about that. You can complain to him about that. You can't really complain about that overall. As a reason for your loss in regards to being robbed, or in regards to any other reason besides the fact that your player was just an absolute dickhead. I'm not saying your player, I'm just saying in general. Mitch Barnett cost the Knights, which sort of made them try more. It was a good effort without Ponga. It was a good effort without Ponga, but with that being said, they still nearly gave up 40 points to a team with no Nathan Cleary, with no Brian To'o, a very, very youthful backline there in that Isaac Targo and Taylor May, and then Charlie Staines, you know. And then you go to the forwards. There's no Fisher Harris. There's no Liam Martin. You know, there's a heap of players out of the Panthers, and they still, you know, smacked them by 38. Yanni Mavis says the Doggies, although they still aren't great, they have improved quite a bit. Guys, enough of the repeating of the questions, please. Faraz Alam says, I'm still not sold on anything, whether it's Broncos making the 8 or bottom 4. It's only round 3. There's a whole year ahead. I don't think the Broncos make the bottom 4, but I definitely think they're still probably, I think I'm nearly spot on with that 10-11 range. I think he could nearly be spot on with that 10-11 range overall. For other ones, exactly who would have thought the Panthers would be the king of the NRL right now? Bingo. Exactly right. You got to give it time, man. You got to give it time. And I know it's tough, but you got to give it time. Gregory John says, I know it's early, but I think the Roosters are really struggling at the moment internally. But I don't know necessarily internally. I just think they're struggling in regards to, and this is what I said in the first game of the season when the Roosters took on the Knights. I said to you guys on stream, I said, looking at this lineup, it doesn't actually look as threatening as we all thought it was meant to be. I said in my preseason predictions that I could see a world where the Roosters disappointed greatly on the preseason expectations that we all had for them. I said it. Go back to my video, and I said, and I'm going to keep telling you guys all season long that I said this because I did. Right? The Roosters are now 1-2. So it's already basically come to light, and it's already proven true. Even if they go on to win the cup this year, they have disappointed in this early part. They can still obviously come back and win it, and I'm not surprised they do. I don't necessarily believe they do, though, because I don't believe they've got the players. I think they've got good players, but I don't think they're necessarily going to work with each other. And they're still going to make the 8, absolutely. People saying Roosters not making the top 8 is an idiot. You're an idiot. I'm sorry, you're entitled to your opinion, but you're also an idiot if you think the Roosters aren't making the top 8. But not you, by the way. I'm just saying in general, for anyone who thinks Roosters aren't making the top 8, you are just an idiot. Fraser Lumpson, Nards Broncos fan. Look, I did have them as 8, but there's heaps of improvement to go, and there's still youth and there's weakness inside, but there'll be hurdles. Absolutely. Every team's got hurdles right now. The only team that doesn't have genuine questions around them are the Panthers. It's literally the only team right now that I can't think of any real negatives. There's no real negatives overall. The Storm have negatives. The Eels have negatives. The Titans, the Sharks, the Manly, absolutely. The Roosters, the Rabbitohs. Literally everyone has negatives right now, except for the Panthers. I can't think. If you guys can think of a genuine negative for the Panthers right now, besides injuries, because injuries is not a negative in regards to the team, it's just a negative in regards to they've got players out who are probably going to be coming back in the next week or so, mind you. Nathan Cleary will play this week. Who are they playing this week, by the way? Who are they playing this week? They are playing round 4. The Rabbitohs. That's right. Oh, yeah. By the way, guys, I won't be streaming that game. I will not be streaming Sharks Knights this week and also Panthers Rabbitohs this week because Dosoviti. I'm going to be going to the Fiji and Drew game at Seabus. Oh, yeah. Thursday night, I'll be obviously at the Titans versus Tigers game. And then on Friday night, I'm going to be vlogging the Fiji and Drew versus the New South Wales Waratahs game. So I won't be able to do that grand final rematch. It's on 9 anyway. If it wasn't on 9, probably would have gone and done it. Cooper Johnson says, I tore my ACL in 2019. Massive year of recovery ahead for Stone. The rehab is real tough. Even though he's leaving next year, I wish him all the best and hope he can come back better from this. What sucks for the Eels that you guys are still having to pay for his recovery. And the thing that sucks for Redcliffe is that they've contracted him. And as much as it sucks to say this, ACLs are incredibly tough to come back from. Kevin Gordon was one of the better wingers that I'd seen in the game until he did his ACL. And then unfortunately, when he did his ACL, he went. And I loved Kevy. I know Kevy personally. Well, I haven't spoken to him in years. But I used to live really close to him, like literally one street across from him and see each other all the time. He was a great bloke. He was really good at rugby, really fast. If you guys are too young to remember Kevin Gordon, absolutely phenomenal player for the Titans back in those, those early Titans days around the 2000, I think maybe 2009, 2008 to 2013. I think he did his ACL in 2012, came back in 2013 and just couldn't get it. There was one game that was obvious as. So, yeah, ACLs, man, horrifically harsh to come back from it. This is why I said in regards to Luke Keary. This is why. And a lot of people disagreed with me in regards to this and said, there's no way in the tier list that you should have Luke Keary not an elite. And I said, I think he is an elite player, but coming back from an ACL is hard, man. I can't guarantee you're going to come back to be elite off an ACL. And that's why I didn't put any players who had an ACL into a position that was above the do the job or even the mid-range to lower-ended quality area. Because I don't have any trust in someone coming back from an ACL. But you can do it, but it's very tough. Greg says, if the big man Gould can do to the Dogs what he's done to the Panthers over a couple of years, I'll be a happy camper. They're in the right track, mate. They're in the right track. And this is why channels like this are always good for you to listen to because I am not a Dogs fan. I couldn't care less about the Dogs. But what I will say is the Dogs are on the right track. This is going to plan. Gus Gould does not think this team will make the 8 this year. I guarantee you, if you speak to Gus on a man-to-man level and you're not talking on television or radio or whatnot, Gus will probably tell you that they're probably going to finish bottom 4. That's what Gus would probably tell you. And this is me just assuming, but Gus would probably tell you because he knows his stuff. The Dogs are more than likely going to be finishing in the bottom 4. And that is a genuine assessment. Does that mean the Dogs are now going back to their worst? No, because they've already shown positives this year and they've already shown that they're on the right track going forward. But the Dogs are massively a work in progress. They came second last in 2020. They came last in 2021. They are not making the 8 this year, and they were never making the 8 this year. They're lucky not to finish in the bottom 4. But they've got good players. They get better players next year as well. Reid Marnie, they get Viliami Kikau. They've got a good team next year. And it still might be another year before they make the 8 in 2024. So, this is very much the Titans and Dogs are in similar situations. Titans just don't have Gus Gould. But the Titans and Dogs, Titans have progressed further than where the Dogs are at right now. But the halves are still shaky. The hooker is still shaky until Reid Marnie comes. The backs are still shaky. They don't know who their winger is right now. There's Ockenbaugh or God knows. The centers, I can't even think. God knows. Fullback, obviously, Dufty, he's been okay. Their forwards haven't been unbelievable. They've got Tavita Pangai Jr. and they've got, Hetherington's out for the season now, so they're going to have to go to the depth there, but not like he's unbelievable anyway. They just get a simp in every game. So that just means that basically they get to play for 13 every game unless Tavita Pangai Jr. screws them over. It's still not a special team, but they are in the right direction is what I will say. Does Mate says Cowboys got an easy draw? Bingo, they do, but the Broncos have an easier draw. I was expecting them to go 4-0. I was expecting the Broncos to go 4-0 before obviously finishing in 10th, which tells you how the rest of their season is. But yeah, it's ridiculous how easy a couple of these teams have got at early days and how much they talk. But Cowboys fans aren't really talking too much. They are obviously believing in their team, which is great. You have to believe in your team. But yeah, it's very early and they have played nobody. You're a Cowboys fan. Lucas says Cowboys may beat the Roosters. If they do, that will be impressive. Okay. It will be impressive, but okay. Jasper 2019, as a Broncos fan, all I expect is improvement this year. Okay, well, I changed that around. Well, you should expect improvement this year. Everyone should expect improvement. Tigers fans should expect improvement, but they never get it. But yeah, you definitely should be expecting improvement each and every year with your team. Each and every year with the team. That's why a lot of Titans fans are disappointed because a lot of this beginning part of the season has been similar. But again, Titans have lost 2 games this year by a total combined 4 points. 2 games by a total combined 4 points. Like shit. Every game for the Titans so far this season has been decided by 2 points. One against a genuinely good Eels team that were robbed in, mind you, and you guys know it, everyone knows it. The other game was obviously the Raiders game from this week. They're up 22-0 against and then choked away that second half. The second game, obviously, they beat the Warriors by 2 points. But arguably, you could argue by more. But it is what it is, man. Like, point of the matter is that it's not as bad as you think with the Titans. The only reason you're thinking like this is because of the fact the Titans obviously gave away that big lead. That's literally the only thing. Up North Pick on it says the mighty Warriors not looking good. Sad to say, I know it's only round 3 or round 4, but still, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. Copter says if Bulldogs can kind of shut down Turbo, every team should be able to stop him running right. Yeah, well, but you got to remember though, that was in pouring down rain, dude. That was in pouring down rain. Like you can't expect, like the bad teams are always benefited with the rain and the weather being like that because it slows the whole track down, especially the Dogs too. Greg John says all the Titans need to do is learn to string 2 good halves. Yeah, definitely agree there, man. Definitely agree. Jay says Warriors over the Broncos upset match. Now, guys. Obviously, we do our tips every week. I did really well last week. I think I got 6 out of 8. The only 2 games I got wrong I got 5 out of 8, which was a lot better than a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys got 1 or 2. I do my tips, obviously, in the BKRsport members only section. A video comes out every Wednesday. And yeah, I think we're going to have a really good week this week. I think this week is a lot easier to tell. But the one game that I'm really confused about is this game between the Warriors and Broncos. I genuinely believe the Warriors will win that game. I do. I think the Warriors are going to win it. And they're going to... Who have they beat so far? The Tigers. I don't know what it is. I just feel like at Redcliffe they're going to get the job done. But it's a tough game because Broncos should be favourites. They are favourites. And they should be winning that game. But I don't know. I get a weird feeling about that one. But you guys will know my tips on the members-only section, which I appreciate you guys for obviously joining up for. What's up next here? Nate J says Tigers are short odds in my opinion this week at $4, probably around $9-10 by Thursday. Oh man, James says Titans don't know how to defend, Nath. Bro, okay, mate. So I don't even bother responding to Muppets like that. Like it's just it's just people who just don't get it. Like, they just don't get it. They think they know. They watch a couple of games of rugby league and they think they know a thing or two about footy. But it's just like, bro, 120 minutes have gone by the season and the Titans have given up a total of 6 points in that total. No, sorry, 8 points in a total of 120 minutes this year. So that means they can defend. They just can't do it for the full 80. But obviously, James, you think you know everything. So thank you very much for that comment. But please, move on, man, and give us something that actually means something more than Titans can't defend. Because the Tigers, if they don't put 50 past if the Titans don't put 50 past the Tigers this week, I'm going to do a Harold Holt. The Speedster says, people are talking about Penrith South. It will be a great game, but I'm also excited for Cronulla Newcastle. I think Cronulla put the sword through Knights. I think the best game of the weekend, always, when you're looking for the best game of the weekend, guys, you look straight at the game of the Panthers Rabbitohs. That won't be the best game of the weekend. You got to look for the second best. You got to look for the one that doesn't look like it's going to be the best. And it's usually going to be the most exciting. Like, for example, Sharks Knights could be. I doubt it. I think Sharks put the sword through them. I think Warriors Broncos will be quite dead. I think Manly Raiders will be not great at all because both those teams haven't a great season. Roosters Cowboys could be interesting, but I think Roosters are going to slap them. Storm Dogs could be super interesting without, straight away just looking at that. Eels Dragons, actually, you know what? I actually think that Eels Dragons might be the game of the round. I'm going to make a ballsy call here. I'm going to say Eels and Dragons going to be the game of the round. I honestly would not be surprised if the Doggies gave it a good crack there against the Storm, considering how the Storm have not been as unbelievable as you think they have been. Well, most people should know, really, that they haven't been unbelievable. I'll pick up that says, are you going to any home game for the Warriors? Yes, I'll be going to the Warriors versus the Tigers game, the first home game, plus also the Titans versus Warriors in the last game of the season at New Zealand. As long as there's something to play for. If it's not to play for, I'm not going to bother. But if there's something to play for, I'll come over there. Absolutely. But for the Tigers Warriors game, absolutely. Fraser Lumpson's Blaze, I know there's a rivalry between the Broncos and the Titans and the fans and all of us, but still I respect your honesty and I mostly agree with you and see when you don't get shit and speak, you have a point. See, the thing is with me, man, is that I don't really hate any team. But if people are going to give it to me in regards to the team that I support, I do know a thing or two about footy because I do watch every game, right? And that doesn't mean that my opinion is better than yours. And that doesn't mean that I guarantee know more than you. But it does mean that you have to have a pretty good knowledge base of the sport to be able to go toe-to-toe with someone like myself who does watch every game because I have the ability to because it's what I do, yeah? I will talk shit to fans of teams when their fans are giving me crap, which is what the Broncos did on Saturday night. And it's funny because they all cry oh, we're in the top 8. You're in the top 8. It's round 3, man. You just got beaten 38-12 and you're talking about being in the top 8 round 3. It's embarrassing, bro. It really is. It's embarrassing. I ain't going to name names, but it is horrific, dude. It is just absolutely horrific how much the Broncos just have this utmost sense of entitlement that they are already back to being good. It just is mad. It's mad. As a Titans fan, I'll tell you when my team is shit. I will tell you when my team is absolutely diabolical. And in that second half last week, they were diabolical for the most part. There were some good defensive plays, but they were diabolical for the most part of that second half on Saturday. They've been diabolical for the last 10 years. It's easy to say, but Broncos fans have this unreal sense of entitlement, like they deserve to be in the top 8. It's just ridiculous. Lucas says, I'm going to watch the vlog. Trust. Good stuff. It'll be out at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Nate J says, I said this last week, but looking at the Dragons' next 6 to 7 games, I'll gladly take 4 points. Okay, let's quickly go through the Dragons' 6 to 7 games. We've still got a heap of time left here. How long have we been going for? We've been going for 52 minutes. We've still got 40 minutes to go here. Guys, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're around here. Message a friend, tell them to come on over. You send in the link and tell them to come on watch and send through a question. But let's go through the Dragons' next 6 to 7 games. So the Dragons have the Eels. I'm going to give the Eels the win there based off my first impressions. I'm not tipping them yet. I'll take the Eels there. So that's going to be 0-1 for their Rabbitohs game. I'm going to take the Rabbitohs. I'm going to go 0-2. Sorry, man. I know you're not going to like it. I'm going to go 0-2 there. The game after that, Knights. I actually think you'll beat the Knights. I'll go 1-2. And people think that I hate the Knights. I don't hate the Knights. I just know that they've been a bit pretenders to start the season, in my opinion. So I'll go 1-2 there. Then the Dragons, Roosters. Wow, you've got a tough run. I'll go 1-3. I'm sorry. I'm taking the Roosters over the Dragons there. Then the Dragons play the Tigers. I'll go 2-3. So you'll take that. You'll take that win against the Tigers. The Storm in Melbourne, 2-4, man. Wow, you got a real tough run here for the Dragons these next few weeks. 2-4, and then the Titans at Suncorp. That's a 50-50 game at Suncorp. Obviously, I'm going to say 2-5 because I'm a Titans fan. But I can understand why you'd get around the Dragons in that one at Suncorp Stadium. If it's a C-bus, I think we put it past you. We have a good record against the Dragons. We have a really good record against you in recent years. Overall, I think it's quite 50-50. But in recent years, we have a really good record against you. So I'll be nervous for the game. But with that being said, it is a 50-50 game at Suncorp there. Tommy says, you need the beers tonight of the travel and Muppets who think their team outdoor yeah, win the premiership. Man, we deal with it all the time, dude. We have a good time. That's what we love to do, man. Like, that's the main thing. I don't think this is cut out for everybody. A lot of people wouldn't be able to handle this shit. But yeah, it's all good fun, man. The only reason I'm even reacting like this is because I'm tired from the travel. But with that being said, like, I'm still having a great time here. I hope you guys are enjoying it too. James says Broncos beat Warriors with ease. Okay, Muppet. Frazalum says new fullback or shit to centre. Wing, no way. Centre cause Stags and Herbert maybe a wing spot. I have continuously said to you guys that Selwyn Cabo is a fullback. He is a fullback. I don't understand why he's not. This is what I would have done, right? I don't believe in testing it. I would have put Selwyn Cabo as a fullback and I would have put Izako on the wing. The only reason Osaka left was because he wasn't getting a spot, and which is really weird that he came to the Titans because he's not going to get a spot at the Titans either. He should have gone to the Eels because they were going to give him literally a spot. So it's really odd that Osaka came to the Titans because it's the same situation as the Broncos. Maybe they just offered him a bit extra. Shit, I don't know, man. But it's just obviously depth of the Gold Coast. But I think it's maybe because he didn't want to move all the way down to Parramatta for this year, and then it will come all the way back up to Redcliffe next year when he was already in Brisbane. That's probably the biggest reason. If it was a team that was closer, but that's why he probably chose the Titans. But I would have gone with Osaka on the wing, and I would have gone with someone cover the fullback. I don't know what your wing depth is right now. That's my question. What is your wing depth? Like, is Tessie? What can Tessie you play wing? I don't really think so. He's not a good fullback though. Ula Lamanu says, is Brian to O playing round 4? Because if he isn't, they should just keep Taylor and May at the wing. Obviously, this is Monday, so I don't know the team list, but I think no. I'm not too sure. I'm not going to say yes or no when I'm not too sure. Brian had raised a Storm and a few of the top teams struggling so far. Is it just early season hiccups? No, it's the fact that a lot of the teams at the bottom of the table have really improved, but I still think the classy teams will come through that origin period the best because they're experiencing it. Storm, who's another team? Panthers, who have been used to it the last couple of years. The Roosters, obviously, they know how to get through it. The Rabbitohs know how to get through it. I think that, those kind of teams, because the Titans can get decimated again by Origin, and they still aren't experienced enough to be getting those wins during Origin. I don't know what the Origin period is for the Titans, actually. Let's quickly have a look here what their Origin period kind of is. So, beginning of June, they have the Cowboys. It's not much. Rabbitohs. But then again, there will be a game where they have a lot of Rabbitoh. Damien Cook's out, Latrell Mitchell's out, all those kind of. I don't know when. What date is actually Origin, though? When is Origin? So, State of Origin is on 8th of June. So, let's go Titans. Let's look at their draw. So, 8th of June, so the week before that. Okay, so it's going to be on a Saturday against the Rabbitohs. So the players will be eligible to play, but a lot of them won't. And that's including Fafita, that's including Fasa Malawi, that's including AJ Brimo probably in that 14 spot there for Queensland. You're talking, you've got a heap of players out there for the Titans. And then you go 3 more weeks, and then it's the Sunday game. So it doesn't really matter. The second game is at Optus Stadium in Perth, so it's a Sunday game, doesn't really matter, which is that. And then after that, when is game 3? Let's quickly go have a look here at game 3, which is on the 13th of July in Queensland. Go to the Titans, 13th of July in Queensland, where they take on. We've got to buy. All right, so we've got to buy, and then we play the Broncos the week on that Saturday as well. Okay, that's tough. I hate playing the Broncos there because that's going to ruin that game. But it is what it is. It's at Seabus on that week, so it's not a tough schedule there for the Titans, but it still will be relatively difficult for a really fresh and young team to be getting through that stage. Faraz Alum says, James, no, I can't trust Brisbane. They're probably favourites, but you just never know. Brisbane are favourites, but that I wouldn't guarantee anything there. Ula Lamanu says, James, don't get too excited. Broncos could probably lose. So these are 2 Broncos fans talking to James here, but I know that James has probably insulted me somewhere down here. James says, I ain't a Broncos fan, just saying, sure you're not, buddy. Yeah, sure you're not. And I'm not a Titans fan, mate. I'm not a Queensland fan. I definitely support the St. Louis Cardinals, and wow, how good is Man United, eh? Faraz Alam says Tigers could realistically go 0-6. Oh, well, I'm going to go have a look at the Tigers schedule now. All right, so let's go have a look at the West Tigers. So they play, they've lost 3 already. I guarantee you they lose this week. They'll lose to the Sharks, and they'll lose to the Eels. Then they've got the Rabbitohs. They could be realistically 0-7. This team, realistically, I don't even guarantee them winning against the Cowboys. They could go 0-10. Now I'm saying this, they probably go and win against the Titans this week. I highly, highly doubt it. Highly doubt it after what I was speaking with the boys last night. But geez, that's a tough run there. Titans, every game's a tough run for the Tigers. But Titans, Sharks, all 3 of these games are away, by the way. Titans, Sharks, and Eels all away from home, and then the Rabbitohs at CommBank, which isn't even a home game really for Tigers. And then the Dragons away, Manly away. Yikes. Then you get a bit of an easier schedule with the Cowboys at home and the Dogs at home, and then you go back to the Rabbitohs away and then a bye. Oh, geez. Honestly, that's a tough way. I don't know where to give a win to the Tigers there. I don't know where to give a win to the Tigers. Jackson McLean to see on Thursday night. Obviously, brother. Obviously, we get the drums pumping, baby. Get the drums pumping. Fraser Lumps, honestly, the next few weeks will tell us if Brisbane have actually improved in their second half of 2021, or have they just improved by only beating the small sides. I've been saying this all season long. Wait for that round 5 and 6. Roosters and Panthers. Roosters in round 5, I think it is, and then Panthers in round 6. Let's go make sure of it. Round 5, yeah. Roosters in round 5, Panthers in round 6. They've got the Warriors on this side of those two, and then the Dogs on the other side, and then they get the Sharks, the Rabbitohs, Manly, Knights and Titans. So if you want to believe the Knights are a top 10 this year, go for it. That's a tough 5-game stint there because they have the Sharks at home. They have a good record against the Sharkies, to be fair, at Suncorp. The Rabbitohs away, Manly away, the Knights away, and then Titans at home. Besides last year, the Titans have a really good record at Suncorp. Actually have a better record in the last, I think, 6 years at Suncorp than Broncos have against them. So that's a really tough run for them. After this Warriors game, removing the Dogs and potentially the Knights, you've got Roosters, Panthers, Sharks, Rabbitohs, Manly, and Titans. That's a tough run. Then you finally get a bye, which you'll be very much loving to see there with the Broncos. Up North Pickens says, that's 300 seconds went fast. James says they should win Thursday by 25. So the Titans, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Desmond says Titans team is very young. Absolutely. I'm not nervous here at all. I ain't nervous here at all. I don't look nervous. You guys know me. You guys have known me. I don't know how long you've been subscribed for, which you should if you haven't already, guys. Thumbs up and subscribe. But I don't know how long you guys have been subscribed for. But I've been streaming for 2 years now. I've been creating vlogs and content since 2016. If you don't know when I'm nervous or when I'm frustrated or when I'm upset or when I'm angry, then it's probably an issue. You haven't watched enough content because I'm always posting my true reactions. And this is my true reaction. I am not nervous whatsoever right now. I'm 35 minutes behind the chat right now, but that's because I am going in depth into all these questions. Gregory Johnson, Titans building takes time. Culture is evolving. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. The club has dramatically changed quite frequently. Fraser Lumps, why are people saying put Asako over Campbell? It's probably his first bad game and people wanting him drop. Thank God us fans don't have to stay on the side. This is what, I'm going to read you guys out a comment. I'm going to read you guys out what I commented today in the Titans group. Here you go. Here's what I'll read you out exactly what I wrote in this group that got a lot of coverage. I said, hey guys, hey guys, any chance we could get a few comments around this joint that don't make me lose brain cells reading them? In brackets, Jaden Campbell is struggling, no good anymore, put it in Sarko. In brackets, Wallace will solve all our problems, world peace and global warming. In brackets, it's round 3 and we haven't figured it out yet. Kiss finals goodbye. In brackets, Justin Holbrook is a disgrace. Worst coach we've ever had. In brackets, put in Jojo Feeder over Herbert. It's all Herbert's fault and only Herbert. Herbert. In brackets, obviously this isn't working. We took a risk and it didn't pay off. Just start again before it's too late. All those comments I saw on the in that group. I said, shut up, please. For the love of God, I understand the pain. I was there. I flew down for that shit and been very active around the club for over a decade. I'm very, very well aware of how much it hurts, but please stop talking if any of the above comments relate to you. This team will struggle. They will lose games this year. They will lack understanding this year. They will embarrass us at points this year, but they will learn as young kids do. This is fact, and this is the long-term risk we're taking for consistent success, not short-lived hype. If we're still playing like this in 2024, then be my guest and annihilate me and the club for getting it wrong. Feel free to say I was wrong then and the club was wrong then after the long-term plan fails. But here's the thing. It won't in my eyes. We have lost 2 out of 3 games by a collective 4 points. 4. We can score 4 points, but we can also concede points. We can score points, but we can also concede points. We play shootout footy like teenagers do because we haven't come together defensively as a whole yet because we are maybe 7 games into a brand new experiment. With this being said, across 120 minutes of footy this year, we've conceded 8 total points. First 2 second halves plus Raiders first half. Do we have defensive issues? Yes. Does that 120 minutes show we can fix them? Absolutely. But most ignore that for the lapses a bunch of young blokes have in the early stages of an incoming ground plan. Holbrook took this wooden spoon team to finals in literally 2 seasons and would have done it in 1 if the NRL was full length in 2020. Please sit down and be patient like an adult knows how to be. You think Holbrook is our worst coach ever? Obviously, you weren't around for Garth Brennan. Get rid of Herbert. Okay, granted, he's not been great, but we know what he can do. If he continues to struggle, I get it. Maybe we drop him for a week or 2 to tune up, but to assume we're intending to make this team even younger at this stage is genuinely hilarious. Jojo has unreal potential, but please, 1 trial game doesn't justify his spot. Hell, how did Herbert go in that Mouldy game? Wallace is not going to be here next year. It's no point playing him if he isn't playing past 2022. Cool, he hasn't signed a contract with anyone yet, but come on, man, read between the lines. He's obviously going to Redcliffe. It's round 3. Alarm bells aren't ringing. For anyone who knows anything, you can see that 2.5 games in, we were genuinely a quality team with some lapses here and there. 3 games in, now we're apparently back to bottom 4 because of a 40-minute stanza that was crunched by momentum that is near on impossible for young kids to have the experience to wrestle back in an away game. I love our fans, I love our team, and I'll be back on Thursday to watch us slap the Tigers and have all the Muppet Brigade saying we're a top 6 team guaranteed, despite the fact that we're apparently a bottom 4 team this week. It is what it is, but if you're new, just sit back, chuck your seatbelt on because it's going to get more toxic throughout the year. However, understand that people who get this sport and the foundations being built know that the pathway being developed is the exact same as the Panthers 5 to 8 years back, and they were incredibly hot and cold early days. Much love. That's what I said in the chat. So if anyone, this is why I say to you guys, if you want to have a crack at the sport and teams and players, and you want to say it about this team and my team or something about a team that is just stupid, I will call you out on it because I know what I'm talking about. You need to have, and that what I said doesn't necessarily mean that it's right. But if you can give me a good enough reason to prove what I just said was wrong, then, feel free. And I'll read it out and I'll admit I'm wrong. But I know in regards to what I just wrote that I'm not. The speedster says Charlie Staines is an average winger. I don't disagree. I think he really laps up there at Penrith. And Penrith gets clear back this week, I'm pretty sure. Absolutely. I'm going to skip through a few comments here. Let's see. Here we go. Something rather. So I'm going to try and skip and get a few different people's comments now. Something rather says Tigers almost won. The desperate play in the last 10 minutes was just bone-wrenching to see. So many mistakes in a 12 versus 13 situation. Still mad about that. Absolutely, man. The Tigers were severely disappointing. Like, severely disappointing. I was angry. You guys saw me on the stream. I was angry at the Tigers. I want the Tigers to do well. I do. I want the Tigers to do well because I always believe the Titans, the Tigers, the Warriors, and the Eels are 4 teams that know exactly how each other feel. Eels fans try and pretend like they're not a part of these 4 teams, but they absolutely are because they haven't won shit in 36 years, and they've been absolutely terrible for the last 36 years in that, right? So I want to see the Tigers do well, but the club pisses me off. The club pisses me off because the Tigers are where the Titans were 10 years ago, and they've been that way for 10 years. The Tigers have never improved. The only time they improved was Harry Grant. 1 player goes into the hooker role. Besides that, they've been shit for 10 years, 11 years. It's infuriating. And I'm not even a Tigers fan. So I feel sorry for you guys. I do. I really feel sorry for you guys. I want to see you guys do well. Just not this week, mate. Ryan Langdon said it's only been 3 rounds and Titans won the first game, second game. Won the first. I love that, Ryan, actually. Yeah. Titans won the first game, so it should be 2 and 3. Why are people saying Titans will miss the 8 and count them out already? People were saying that before the season started anyway. So, people are always saying Titans aren't going to make the 8. You just move on, bro. You just let them have their whatever. You let them have their whatever. They think they know everything. Cool. Frazalam says, you nearly beat the Warriors. You didn't, and you're 0-3, even though it's only round 3. It's the bloody Tigers. If you can't beat New Zealand, who can you really beat? Especially you'll draw these next few weeks in GC at home. Wow. Yeah. The Tigers' next draw, honestly, it is not out of this realm, out of this reality, out of this world for the Tigers to be 0-10. I'm just throwing it out there. It's not out of the realm. And I don't know who they beat, but they will beat someone this year. And probably after all this shit, they're probably going to beat the Titans. I doubt it severely, but I'm not wiping it out, lads. I know my team too well. Something right says, we were 14-18. I know, but it was bad. It was bad. Jay Hayes says, if you stop reading Faraz's comments, you wouldn't be 20 minutes on. Bro, we've got these comments were sent at 7:30 my time. It's now 8:06. This is the first time we've been, but here's what it is, man. You guys, we're kicking back, And also, I want to throw this out there. After this finishes, I'm actually going to edit this, and I'm going to put the most important questions that you guys had onto the BKR Clips channel. So BKR Clips is actually happening. So basically, guys, I've been kind of lazy in regards to a couple of my other channels in the last, I'd say, probably few months or years, really. But I really want to absolutely smash it out. So I'm going to be doing BKR clips again. So that's going to be starting up tomorrow, and I'm just going to be posting clips from these, and I'll get clips from the streams and whatnot. We've got people helping out in regards to that now. So yeah, go and subscribe to BKR clips as well. Hit the thumbs up button here and subscribe here. But BKR clips and BKRsport USA is happening too. So there's a lot going on. If you love your American sports in baseball, in basketball, in hockey, in American football, get around it. Jump on in there. BKRsport USA. The moderators will drop a link in the chat right now for you guys. But yeah, a lot's going on, man. I actually think I'll stick around here maybe another 45 minutes. I don't know. It's Monday night. Who gives a shit? What do we want? As if you're having your own channel, you can literally stay for however long you want. And it also gives me content for BKR clips for the next week anyway. Spencer says, thoughts on popping out and going for a Rapunzel look? Yeah, that's a Melbourne look though, man. That's a Victorian kind of look, dude. You know, that's a Victoria all day kind of look. Ula Lamana says, most of the teams that were picked for the wooden spoon are actually playing decent, except for the Tigers. Who were the teams that picked for the spoon? Cowboys were. They're playing decent, but against nobodies. Who's another team? Knights, yeah. The Knights are playing decent. And they've played teams that aren't exactly nothing teams. Who did the Knights play first? The Knights played who's in first couple of games for the Knights, actually? I know they played the Panthers this week, but sometimes you struggle to remember everything going on. They played Tigers. The Roosters was a good one. See, they've actually played two difficult teams, the Panthers and the Roosters, and obviously beat the Roosters, but that was a bit of a different game. I've explained that before. But obviously lost the Panthers more convincingly than people give them credit for. But obviously convincingly wiped before the Tigers. But honestly, I could get myself, James, the speedster, Jay Hayes, Daz mate, and buddy Faraz Alam, and we could go and beat the Tigers right now. So, it doesn't really say too much about that. The speedster, it's just a question. Isn't in the sheds normally on Tuesday, but who's complaining? It is, but the vlog's coming out tomorrow, mate. So the Titans versus Raiders vlog is coming out tomorrow. So that's why I thought, you know what, we'll just do it today. I just got back and I thought, you know what, we'll just slap it up today, man. What are you complaining, man? I know you say you're not complaining. Why are you complaining, man? Stop complaining. Just stop complaining. You complain too much, man. You just complain. We're on 37 likes right now, guys. Let's get up to 50. Let's do it. Smack it. Let's do it. Smack it right now. We got that coming out. Dazmate says, Doggy anyone contender this year. We beat the second place Cowboys. You are something. You are something. Frazzleum's most overrated player in the Broncos team. I feel Flegger isn't that good. I've been saying it for years. I know he got called out for Queensland, but he's still very inconsistent for Brisbane. His discipline is very, very poor. Never rated him, man. I've never rated him. Got a comment here that I want to read. Johan Rugby says, rest in peace, Gareth Mason. So Gareth Mason, I'm going to be quick here, guys, because obviously this is a different sport, but I know Gareth Mason. He was a South African rugby YouTuber who was unfortunately passed away in the last couple of days. I was quite emotional last night because of the reasoning behind why he did it and the struggles that he went through. He was an absolutely fantastic servant to the rugby union community on this platform, and he always, he was passionate like I was, but about rugby. He's passionate, but for rugby. And it was just so brilliant to see how he inspired such the community for rugby union to really grow and to keep pushing despite the fact that he had dwarfism and despite the fact that he had a lot of issues in his personal life. So, definitely rest in peace to Gareth Mason, man. It was very sad. Just ask Clarky. I was quite upset last night when it first happened, when I first found out about it. I actually got told on a stream yesterday, on that Bulldogs vs Manly stream, I was like, I think it was Jacob McDonald who commented on it, and I was like, oh shit, I don't even know what happened, and then I found out, and yeah, it's quite upsetting. So yeah, rest in peace to the big man. Rest in peace to the big man. Lucas Chandra says, Dogs Cowboys grand final. I'll be happy with that. Shut up, please. Frazalum says, Mcguire saying Brooks is origin level caliber half. I get he wants to boost his confidence, but that comment just was meme worthy. That and Benji Marshall saying he's Dally M halfback of the year. Johan says, are you still in Fiji, mate? Because I don't see your cool background. I actually have a green screen over here. That you can kind of see stuff coming onto it right there. But I can't use it on here because it doesn't fit. I can't actually edit the size of this thing. And you need to edit it to have the whole green in the background. I can't do it. So when I'm doing a stream or whatnot, usually I'm at the stadium. But yeah, for now, we can't do it on these ones here. We've got a comment here. Who do you support, G? Jay Shan says, I am a Titans fan, dude, so I travel around. I just got back from Canberra today in the last 3-4 hours or so. I'm obviously the drummer for the front line, the official supporters club of the Gold Coast Titans. We get a good time going there. You'll see tomorrow, man. The vlog will come out, so you'll see exactly who I support tomorrow. It was a fun game until it wasn't. Logan says, sorry, mate, Titans showed us the possession is key. I don't get what that comment represents. Forever Saints supporter says, Nanai did great against Broncos. Definitely earned himself a starting spot. Geez, he's a second row and he's catching like Trbojevic in the 2019 State of Origin game too. Now I've been saying this since preseason. Myself and the Random Stats guy, he was more big on the other one. There's another Cowboy player there, young, playing the back row. But I was really keen on Nanai after last year. And, I'm very happy with how Nanai started there. He was absolutely unbelievable. Even besides his tries, man, he was a beast, bro. He was a beast. Fight TV says, I think the Rabbitohs have a good chance of making the top 4. You are a Rabbitohs fan. No shit, you think the Rabbitohs have a good chance of making the top 4. Yanni Mavita says, well, you looked really good against Manly and shocking against South and Knights. They're very hot and cold so far. What's Manly done? What's Manly done? You can only play who's in front of you, but what's Manly done to represent that as being a good win? Because the Roosters have one win against a team that has lost every other. They lost the first game big to the Panthers and then struggled to beat the Dogs. Yes, albeit in wet conditions, but I actually think the Dogs lost that game rather than Manly won that game because the Dogs made stupid decisions again. The Dogs actually had that second try covered, but unfortunately slipped over due to the conditions. You can only play in those conditions. Both teams play in the same conditions. You can't make those excuses, but I'm just saying Manly were not convincing in that game, and they needed to be to really bring it back. Jack Attack, so I can see the Titans, the premiership threat the next 3 years. Personally, love how your side looks and moves the footy. All respect, mate. Absolutely. Absolutely. And anyone who knows footy knows what's going on here. But obviously, people want to banter. They want to slay. They want to talk shit. That's fine. I get it. That's cool. But, it just shows how much you don't have an idea of anything in regards to anything. If you think that if you don't understand what the processes are that's being put in place right now. Tasman says, haven't heard Kevin Gordon's name in years. Great bloke, man. He's a funny dude. I think he's in... I know he's from the Philippines, I think. I wonder if he's still in Merrimack. I probably shouldn't have said that on stream. Well, it's a whole suburb. You guys aren't going to know anyway. I wonder if he's still there anyway. He's a funny bloke. Jay Hayes says, how did the interview with Bill Big Mal Meninga? Old school legend of the game. Yeah, I did obviously interview Mal Meninga. He'll be on the vlog tomorrow. Interviewed Aaron Clark and Mal. Look, obviously, he was actually really good. I went to speak to him outside when everything finished and look, I said to him, can I just grab you for about a minute or so, man? I won't take too much of your time. And he was a bit hesitant at first, but then he jumped on. And he was he spoke for about 5 minutes, mate. He spoke for about 5 minutes. So I'm going to have to edit it down. And then whoever's a member of the channel will get the full interview. Whoever's a member will get the full interview with Mel because he just kept going. It was awesome. We kept talking about momentum. Basically, his key word was momentum and the young players and being able to change that momentum in their favour. So, it's a good interview with Mal Meninga that will come out tomorrow, mate. Logan Finlay, I was just saying something about Wales being the greatest rugby ever. Look at Hodgson, who came back from ACL and wasn't the same. Kinda. I'm going to read this coming out. Wales greatest rugby ever. These teams would all get smashed in the URC. Yeah, that's cool. That's a different sport, you idiot. This is a different sport, you idiot. God, you are an idiot. This is a different sport, not rugby union, you moron. Jack Attack says, I just want to see a consistent 80 minutes from the Rays against Manly, just playing tough and completing the full 80. Yeah, Rays haven't been impressive. People think they've been impressive because they came back in that game. That was okay, cool. It's impressive to come back from that, but the Raiders were not impressive in that game. The Titans have been known to do that for many years now. So was that really the Raiders coming back, or was that the Titans doing what they've been doing for years now? You can answer the question. It's up to you. It's your perspective. It is your perspective. Lucas says, I love the channel. It's very informative and gives you a different perspective on all the teams. I do my best. Oh, look at this dickhead again. What's the next comment here that doesn't make my brain, have an aneurysm? Dazmate says, I was talking to Baz at Brookie the other day. He said, I'm playing wing this week against the Storm. Well, I'm glad he said you're playing wing this week and you're not, teaching English classes because that was shocking. The Speed says, everyone started BK's a legend. The reason you're here every week is because you know how great he is. Mate, I give it a crack. Like I said, I give it a crack. Not always right, but Big Jack Attack gave me $1.80 donation. Appreciate it, dude. On restream, it doesn't come up as a priority. When I'm streaming live, it will. But thank you very much for this, bro. Thank you very much for the $1.80 donation there, man. So yeah, appreciate it. But when it's on stream, it'll come up up here immediately. Fraser Lam says Warriors Broncos is the type of game where whoever wins, you won't be surprised, really. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Forever Saints supporter says, honestly, Cowboys have some good form going into the game against the Roosters after slapping the Broncos, but Roosters just a better team. They played the Raiders, the Bulldogs, and the Broncos. let's see first. Let's just wait. Noffa says it was sad that the Knights vs Panthers game. As soon as the Knights player for sent off, I just switched it off. I knew the Panthers would win from that point. Yeah, absolutely, man. I agree with you completely. The Panthers, I still had 13 plus even with that, but the Knights were better than I thought until that moment. But I still think the Panthers would have won that one convincingly in the end. But I think that send off actually, really got them working again and gave them a good, sense of oomph. But the Panthers are too good, bro. That's effectively a B team for the Panthers that did that. Scored 38 points. They scored 38 points, against the Knights. And it's all well and good that it was against 12 men, but they still scored 38 points against the Knights with no Fisher Harris, with no Liam Martin, with no Nathan Cleary, with no Brian To'o. They've got two, 10-year-old, a centre and a winger there, two wingers who are like, 10 years old, and a centre who is just come out of the womb. So they still had, that was still pretty significant. Noffa says, if you ever feel like losing a lot of money, just bet on the Tigers each week. Absolutely. That's a great point, mate. That's a fantastic point. Jody Bryant's going the Sharks make the top 4 this year. They can. Don't think they will, but they can. They have the team there to make it, but will they be consistent enough is the question. I will tell you the Storm will be consistent at some stage this year, and will rock it home. The Roosters will get consistent. The Eels are usually quite consistent during the regular season, so they'll probably figure out a way. And the Panthers are obviously going to be there. So which top 4 team gets knocked out? Are you knocking out? You're obviously knocking out the Manly right now. But I'm talking out of my top 4 that I predicted preseason. I had the Roosters, the Storm, the Panthers, and the Eels. Which 4 of those teams are you knocking out right now for the Sharks? That's my question. And I understand the Sharks beat the Eels last week. It was one game. We're not talking a whole lengthy season. James's Tigers could go on 24. I dead set would not be crazily surprised, dude. I'm just throwing it out there. And I hate to say it, but it's just the truth, man. Panthers are the actual good team trying this year. The other teams just let Cowboys sneak into second from 4 and against. Yeah. Well, Titans would have been in third if they hadn't have, choked it away. They would have been. And it's disappointing to say that, but they would have been. Tigers likely to win a game this year. James says, 1,000,000% agree with your Titans post, mate. Yeah, look, sometimes you just got to let people know, dude. Sometimes you just get over here and people just shit on players and they just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just shit on players day in, day out. Like Jaden Campbell, the kid's 19. The kid is 19. They're like, oh, he's too small. That's great. The club is obviously going to be trying behind the scenes to build up his intensity and build up his muscle and build up his size. It's being done at the right time. Because if you make someone just really, really big and really fat and really, well, not fat, but really, a lot bigger than what they originally were like that, you're going to destroy them. You are going to destroy them. You can't just go from Jaden Campbell to Latrell Mitchell size like that. You have to slowly build it up. He's 19. If all done right, he's still got 15, 16 years to go until he's done his career. If all things go right, he could go until 35. That's 16 years. That is, what's it now? 2022. He might be still playing until 2038. Let that sink into your head. Not you. I'm just saying, people need to let that sink into their head. Jaden Campbell might be playing, probably, if he goes to 35, will be playing until 2038. Like, that's what people need to understand. That's what people need to understand. Noffa says, I love this stream. Every question warrants a 5-minute answer. Well, I do my best, dude. I do my best to get through it. But, like, I try, man. I try. I do skip over a couple. Darren says, damn, you fed them kids. Good stuff. They will deserve it too, the dogs. They deserve it, the dogs. I had some guy go, oh, no, you can't come in here telling me my opinion's not right. And then he started getting upset that I had an opinion on his opinion. So it's like, well, but that's my opinion. You can't have a go at my opinion. You're having a go at my opinion for having a go at your opinion. But I'm not the one who's upset here at that. I'm upset at the way you guys are talking because I'm entitled to my opinion. But he's getting upset at me for my opinion. So it's like, you're defeating your purpose because you are literally getting upset at me for my opinion. So what are you talking about, dude? He ended up blocking me, but he went on for hours. I went from Canberra to Gold Coast on a flight, came off, and he was still tagging me. He was still tagging me on the flight. It was just mad. Surely. Jack takes the best and the worst of the Raiders are leagues apart. The Titans game shows it. I just won an 80-minute performance this week. Bringo. Branko says, my worst nightmare. I will laugh hard if the Tigers beat the Titans. I know you will. it'll be. I said to my friends, I have anxiety about Thursday night. I do. I have anxiety. I'm a tough individual in regards to dealing with like sledging and banter. You guys know me. I'm always dealing with it and whatnot. But that'll be a really tough one for me to get through, especially after what I had to experience after this Raiders game. I get slaughtered a lot and I can deal with it. I don't recommend doing what I do if you can't handle kind of the shit that will get inevitably thrown your way. But I know that I will get absolutely, especially me being on the drums too. It's like it's target one. The drums are just the representative of the front line. It's not an individual thing, but people always target the drums too. So not only at the game would I just be, I honestly think I'd be sick. I'd probably be physically sick if we lost that game. I'm not gonna lie to you, boys. Jack Attacks is the best because I know I have to edit the vlog too. That's the worst part. All the players have to watch it again anyway. The fans, you guys can go home, forget about it. No one knows you. No one is going to talk shit to you. No one's going to message on Instagram, Facebook, make YouTube videos about you. You're not going to get people talking shit to you at the game. You're going to get your friends a little bit of shit talking here and there, but you don't have a target on your back. So that's me. I have a target on my back, and I accept it. I accept the target, but it is very tough to deal with on the occasion. Especially if we go from that Raiders game where I travel all the way down to Canberra for, and now back on the Gold Coast, go to that game in a couple of days' time, watch that, get slaughtered, and then have to edit through all that bullshit. Edit through it. I have to edit my own videos, lads. Frazzle says, wait, was there a BKR clips before? There was. I just wasn't able to be consistent with it, but now I can be. Second Kel says, let's get the clips channels back. Now I'm realizing how far behind I am. 8:06. Oh, I'm actually not too far behind. It's only 16 minutes now. I've caught up 15 minutes. So who was the one that said before? Who was it? Where was the comment? Where was the comment that was Buddy having a go at me for? Well, not really having a go at me, but this bloody bastard comment here. I love this stream. Every question warrants a 5-minute answer. How dare you? I'm caught up 15 minutes. Tell you that one, mate. Tell you that one. Go and subscribe to BK Clips immediately. If you don't, then you're going to get put 70 past for this week, not bloody 60. Spade says, you just got your clip channel on new subscriber. Let's go. Jimmy says, not NRL related, but the Nets have been horrible this season. The Nets have, they beat the Bucks today, didn't they win by a decent amount against the Buckaroonies? I can't remember. It says, looks like a 10-hour stream once you get through all these comments. Yeah, maybe. I'm probably going to go for another 35 minutes, guys. I'll probably go for another 35. I'm chilling. I'm chilling right now. But the Nets, I don't know if this is when, I'll go to the end of the chat. I'll go to the end of the chat, whether that's in 35 minutes or before 35 minutes, but I will not go past 2 hours. I will not do it. Roosters lost 40-20. Yeah, I know. 420, eh? I love it. But yeah, obviously BKRsport USA, man, if you love your basketball and whatnot, we'll be getting back into that on Wednesday because the first game for the Bulls I can do is on Wednesday. Yeah, on Wednesday. He'll be back with another account. I don't get to see you time out people here, so I don't even know who you're talking about. Here we go. Matthew says, not an NRL comment, but you see the terrifying tackle for Will Price in the Super League. Yeah, so you guys were commenting this on my stream yesterday with Clarkey, and then we had no idea about it. And then we both went to bed, and he messaged me the video of it, and that was horrific, dude. Like, that was wild. Like, that was a horrible, horrible tackle. So, yeah, I saw it, man, and that was a buddy WWE, buddy. That was next level Lachlan Lewis. That was like Lachlan Lewis is here. And then you get buddy, old mate, Will Price in the Super League. How many weeks is he going to get suspended for that? That's dead set, like a 14, 15 week kind of thing. You've got to be suspending for half a season. I don't know how long your season in the Super League is. I don't watch the Super League, but that's got to warrant a lengthy suspension. Like, that's got to be a lengthy suspension. That's 3 accounts now. I wonder who you guys are talking about. I don't know who you guys are talking about. I'm not too sure. Ryan Sims says, who do you think is going to win for tomorrow night between the Blues and Moana Pacifica? I will be streaming this game. Blues and Moana Pacifica in Mount Smart Stadium. I think the Blues will win. How about you? Yeah, it's going to be the Blues, brother. It's going to be the Blues. Space says, love this man's passion. Bing, bing, brah, brah. Let's get it. Let's get it. 6 Knots says, hey, bro, first time in the shed. Well, first time in the shed. Welcome. We're not actually in a shed. I was in it. Well, it wasn't really a shed. Where I was staying, Clarkey did up his garage. It was really cool. Like, he had his garage, and then it was a shed. I could have done the in the shed there. It was a nice room, buddy. Clarkey, he's kicking back, love him. Oh, what a man. But yeah, no, it was comfy as, especially in Canberra too. Didn't even feel like he messaged me in the morning. Was like, oh, bro, if it's cold, go and get something. You got another blanket or something. But it wasn't cold because it was just so super warm in there. It was brilliant. DMH Sports Film and Adventure says, few teams surprising me early on, especially my hometown Cowboys. I don't want to shoot your Cowboys after that one, but I could. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. You can see BKR clips because I will have a clip about the Cowboys on the channel, so go and check it out. BKR clips in the comment section, not the comment section, the description. Get around it. Moana coming off a big winner, yeah. Moana Pacific got a big win off the Hurricanes, I think it was, wasn't it? Oh, Branko using up all his troll accounts. Oh, Branko. What a name. Best forward in the game for me, Haas or JFH. If you want to know my best forward, you can go to the tier maker, mate. Yeah, you can. Julian Grasso says, what's your favorite? Your name reminds me too much of that Italian diver in 2006. But what's your favorite NRL stadium? My favorite NRL stadium is Seabus or Combank. It's one of the two. I would say, or Suncorp. Now I'm saying three stadiums, but those are the three best stadiums in the league. And if people say that Seabus is not good, then they haven't been. If people say Combank isn't good, then they haven't been. If people say Suncorp's not good, then they're a Blues fan or they haven't been. The Suncorp is probably the best stadium, but I think that Seabus is severely underrated when it's packed out. When it's not packed out, fair, granted, shit on it, cool. That's every stadium though. Suncorp's shithouse when it's not packed out. Combank is actually not too bad when it's not packed out. But yeah, those three stadiums are the best in the league. But most people are going to disagree. Ray, I'm sorry, my guy. I'm sorry, Ray. Ray, I'm sorry. It's coming. I'm so sorry, man. I've told him, I keep telling him every week it's happening tomorrow. It's happening in a couple of days' time. I keep, buddy, not doing it, Ray. But trust me, Wednesday, trust me. You can unsubscribe if I don't post on Wednesday on BKRsport USA. You can unsubscribe and you can give me the middle finger. How about that one? Because I'm going to on Wednesday, dude. I will. We're close to catching up now, 10 minutes behind. Teammates Sports Knights, in my opinion, would have had a much better chance at the end send-off. Absolutely. Of course they would have. It would have been 13 on 13. Dad Mason, I'm back. I had to save my popcorn from burning. Oh, don't do that, mate. How dare you go to the game on Sunday, by the way, and not comment and moderate? I was asking about you. I said, how is Daz out of all games, the game he might win against Manly? And Manly, you're not here. You are a disappointment, Daz, mate. How dare you have fun and go and support your team at Manly over, buddy, moderating here on BKRsport. You filthy man. Ryan Simpson, who do you think is going to win tomorrow night between the Blues? I've already read that comment. I've already told you that comment. This is absolutely incorrect. It's absolutely incorrect, my guy. Ryan Douglas, has the team ever gone like 2-22 or 1-23? Genuinely curious. Actually, I'm going to Google this. Let's Google this. Worst ever NRL season record. Here we go. Season record. Let's go see this. This is National Rugby League records. Okay. It's not going to be. It could honestly be the Dogs from last year because I think they only won one game, didn't they? Minor premierships, runners up. Wooden spoons. Parramatta's catching up on the most ever. I can't believe West are that bad. West have 17 spoons. Not West's Tigers, West, as in the Western Suburbs Magpies, but Balmain, don't think they haven't got a few spoons themselves. They've got 21 spoons in combined between the two of those clubs. Okay, so teams wins, losses, win percentages. Okay, matches played, most consecutive wins, most consecutive losses. Sydney University lost 42 matches in a row in 1930s. The Roosters lost 25 matches in a row in the 60s. Rabbitohs lost 22 matches in a row in the 40s. West lost 22 matches in a row in the 80s. And the Jets lost 20 matches in a row in the 70s. Jeez. All right, greatest win margins. Obviously, Dragons beat the Dogs 21-6. Worst records, highest drawn games scored. Geez, a game was scored 34-34. Titans and someone nearly had a big draw the other year. Undefeated in a season, Balmain, East. That's all the way back in St. George, 60s and 30s and 1910s. I don't know. Biggest comebacks? Oh, stop it. They have to add the Raiders in now. Yeah. Yeah, there you have. Yeah, nice. Yeah, nice. You son of a bitch. They've already put that Raiders comeback for 22 points. You son of a... Whoever put that on Wikipedia, I hate you with a passion. Most points scored. I can't find it, dude. I don't know. If someone in the chat can let us know, that'd be absolutely unreal. That'd be ideal if you can let us know in the chat. Who has the worst record of all time? James says, what are your thoughts on Fafita? I feel like the $1 million price tag was too much. No, I think he's being used incorrectly. I don't think he's been used appropriately yet. Bo Firma is where David Fafita was last year, and Bo Firma's killing it. Firma's a great player, but I actually think they can swap. I think they can swap, and I think they're both going to do what they need to do. I think Fafita does a lot of work that you guys don't notice. I think he's been better defensively this year, but just unfortunately hasn't been used properly this year. But I do feel like there could be a tactic here. I do. I'm going to say I do feel like there's something going on behind closed doors, which is good. I don't feel it's a bad thing. I feel like something's happening. But anyway, I can't really talk about it. Yeah, there's a few things that I can't really say. Speeds just says Tigers have a better chance of winning a college basketball competition than winning a game. Well, same pay. Oh, by the way, if any of you follow college basketball, I will absolutely be streaming the NCAA Final Four between Duke and North Carolina because that has never happened. They've never played in a knockout NCAA tournament ever, and they get to play this year in the Final Four. It is nuts. Duke versus North Carolina is one of the biggest rivalries in the world of sport, and that's going to be crazy. So get and subscribe to BKRsport USA. Absolutely. DMH Sports says if the Tigers finish ninth, I'm going to laugh like crazy. They have got about 0% chance of finishing ninth, buddy. Richmond are coming ninth right now, though. Lucas says, but there are some real Muppets in streaming. It's so funny. They have no clue what they're talking about. I think you guys are seeing a lot more time out. I don't get it on Restream. Jay Hayes and Buddy Dazmate must be slapping them down quickly because I ain't getting these comments on the stream. So that's good. They're doing a good job, the moderators. Cheers to them, eh? Cheers to them, my Coke Zero. Shane Kells says, I'm looking at the Tigers draw. It's going to be a long time till they get a win, if they even get one. Yep. Jack Attack says Jack Whiten was also carrying the Raiders in his back at times in 2020. Similar to this year, difference is the Raiders are still completing sets and playing good footy consistently. Dave Fafita got locked down absolutely by Jack Whiten is what I will say. Jack Whiten defensively was unreal. I don't think his attack was that great on the weekend, but I think his defense was unbelievable. 6-0 says, do you drink at the games? No, I don't, because I vlog, mate. I vlog, especially at Titans games. I'm drumming. I'm vlogging. I'm dealing with you guys. I'm getting a heap of kids coming up and asking for photos and parents with their kids saying, like, can my kid have a photo and whatnot? And I appreciate all that, and I respect it enough that I'm not going to drink. No. I'm not a big drinker anyway, man, but I'll have a drink or two occasionally with the boys. But no, not at games, man. I'm too busy vlogging, drumming, and, dealing with people who obviously want to come over and say hello and whatnot. If I'm at a random game like the Broncos or something like that, I might have one or two, but I'm not going to get drunk, no. Faraz Alam says, I have done drunk vlogs before, though. My first ever vlog was Man City versus Roma down in Melbourne back in 2015 or 2016. I think it was 2015. Man City versus Roma, I was really drunk. And then Man City versus Real Madrid, I was even more drunk. Because that was when that was my first time ever doing a vlog. That was at the very beginning of the channel. 10 weeks is all I got, Matthew said. 10 weeks. Yikes. Jay's great. Another 35 minutes of hiding Branko on all his other troll accounts. It's funny. I don't even see him. Will Price got a 10-week ban. That's wild. That is why. Yeah, I saw this Xavier Coates one. Yeah, that was funny. 10 weeks is not enough of that tackle. No way. No way is that enough of that tackle. There's no way. Max Watson says, what's the worst stadium? I would say, and people might not like this, but I'm going to say Brookvale. And the reason why I'm going to say Brookvale is because it's such a shit place to get to. It is a terrible, terrible place to get to. You could actually argue Canberra, GIO Stadium, because it is a terrible place to get to if you don't have a car. Clarky and I drove, because obviously he lives in Canberra. But if you don't have a car, you have to catch like a bus, or it's a bit of it's a really out of the city. It's not in the main area of Canberra. So Canberra and Brookvale are pretty shithouse. Brookvale is actually a good stadium itself, and Canberra's a good stadium itself. But when I'm thinking about what's the worst stadium, I'm thinking about how to get there. Wollongong isn't great because you got to kind of go to Sydney first before you go to Wollongong. And Wollongong is like an hour south of Sydney. The west is pretty easy to get to. Campbelltown, the station, is like literally less than a 5-minute walk. Leichhardt's a bit of a shit of a to get to. But the stadium's okay. Overrated as shit, but still okay. ANZ can be annoying. But that's because you got to get on 2 trains to get there. Unless it's a big event where they'll do a train straight from Central and whatnot, Redfern. I would probably lean with Manly. Just because you have no train station there. And it's less than Canberra. Canberra's at least a bigger stadium. But Brookvale does look impressive since when we saw it the other night. Brookvale with that extra stand at that northern end is actually a lot better. So I'm not sure. I'd say I don't mind Brookie though. I don't hate any stadium. I don't hate any stadium. Even Mudgee was fun to go to, but obviously I would lean there. Cogra is a bit of a shit stadium in my opinion. Like as a stadium itself, I'm not a big fan of Cogra. It's just a bit of a dead stadium, and the atmosphere is a bit dead. I love Shark Park. I love Combank. I love Seabass. I love Suncorp. Newcastle's okay. Still got to walk like a kilometre to get to there from the train station, though. I'll link with Manly, but I still like Manly, man. It's just because you got it's like 10, 20 minutes out of Manly. Ryan Zaga says, I've been to Seabus, and also Manly is a bit far out of Sydney too. Most of you guys are probably from Sydney, so you know, but Manly's a bit of a shithouse place to get to anyway. Like, it's over the bridge, and you see Whoop Whoop there, you see Timbuktu there, and right in the middle is Manly. That's right in the middle of those two. The big fella, Sebastian, here he is, II captain. Apparently, there's been a heap of trolls here. I don't see them, though, which is brilliant, because Jay and that are timing them out, which means that I think the comment must get deleted. I think I saw one Branko comment before, but like they're talking as if like there's been 100 of them. I don't know. I don't even know. Hawthorns says, worst NRL record 2022. 24. Oh, dearie me. Decky D says, do you have a blog coming out for race times? I do, mate. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. The only reason it's not coming out tonight is because I wanted to do this, but also I was tired from getting back from Canberra, and I want to make it the best I can possibly do. I don't put out shit content for you guys. I do my best to do what I possibly, like, the best I can do. So I'm not going to put out some shit content just for the sake of it. It's a good vlog regardless, but I want it to be the best I can do. So it'll come out tomorrow at 5 p.m. Dimash says, right now, my top 5 power rankings would be 1 to 5, Cowboys, Panthers, Rabbitohs, and Storm. No, Cowboys have to be below them because Cowboys have played nobodies. So no way. Cowboys would have to be below the Panthers. The Panthers have won 3 in a row, and they've gone up against the Knights, who have been, decent. They've gone up against the Manly Seagulls, who were a top 4 team last year. And who was the other team the Panthers beat last week? Who was the other team the Panthers beat last week? They took down the Dragons, who were, have been okay this year besides the Sharks game, I guess. So, no, Cowboys have to drop below them at the very minimum. Rabbitohs are absolutely not in a top 5 power rankings. They've lost 2 out of 3 games, bro. They lost to the Broncos, and then they also lost that second game as well. The Rabbitohs aren't anywhere close to a top 5 power rankings right now. They lost to the Storm, and they lost to the Broncos, and then they beat the Roosters. They got the Panthers this week. Good luck with that one, man. There is no way that you can warrant the Rabbitohs being a top 5 power ranking team right now. The Storm, there's not been another team that's probably better than them, maybe. I don't know. Dasmate says, but no way to the Rabbitohs and no way to the Cowboys. Cowboys, maybe power rankings probably 4, I'd say. 3 or 4, because they've still played nobodies. You got to remember that. When you're talking about power rankings, you got to take into account everything. Who you've played, how much you've won by, what players are looking good. Is the team actually looking good for when they play a good team? After this week, if they beat the Roosters, they'll bump up a second. They'll bump up a second. Not above the Panthers, though. Nowhere close to being above the Panthers. Because Panthers, if they beat the Rabbitohs, they'll clearly be 4-0. You can't go above them. Sebastian Grummer says the accounts were locked and loaded beforehand. We've got a trained one. There you go, mate. Look at him go. Look at him go. Knights 2000. Oh, fastest scale says Knights 2016 finished 1-22. Yikes! That was a bad Knights team, though. That was probably the worst team of all time. That Knights of mid 2010s. And yeah, they still had some decent players. Like Achille Uarte was still playing then. Before he went to Manly, I think he was still playing that team. Like he was good, man. X-Ray says, wait, you didn't have Ray Stone there for performance of the round? No, I didn't. I would have put Dylan Brown in over Ray Stone anyway. But no, I really was impressed with Nico Hines, the Sharks. He's a new signing. People like myself didn't know whether he would translate from the Storm system to the Sharks because no one usually does. Obviously, Karen Murray was just ridiculous. I have Karen Murray as the best player of the round for me. Who are the other 2 guys that I have there? I don't know. I can't see it here. The other 2 guys, I know you guys are going to come on up, but it'll be a bit late. Cameron Murray, Nico Hines. There is also, obviously, Jeremiah Nano's got 3 tries. And 3 tries, and was unbelievable in that game. And the other one, who was the other one that I had in there? Did I have Isaac Targo or Taylor May, maybe? No. I'm trying to think of teams that won. Oh, Tommy Starling. Tom Starling killed the Titans that second half. But probably should have taken out Tom Starling and put Dylan Brown in. I'll give you that one. Adam Thompson says, hey, buddy, hope all is well. Go the Bulldogs. Yeah, close. You got close. You threw it away again. You could easily be, right now, I'll throw this out there and say you guys could easily be 3-0. The Bulldogs could easily be 3-0. That's another thing with the Titans. The Titans could easily be 3-0 too. They're not, and the Dogs aren't either. But both those teams are that close to being 3-0. The first game for the Dogs, they beat the Cowboys. They could also be that close to being 0-3, mind you. But the Dogs, same with the Titans. But the Dogs, they beat the Cowboys by 2, 6-4. Second game, They only lost the Broncos by 6 and probably threw the game away themselves. And the third game, they lost by 1 to Manly and probably threw the game away themselves. And with the Titans, they got robbed in the first game and they lost by 2. The second game, they won by 2. And the third game, they were up 22-0 and then lost by 2. So, both those teams could easily be 3-0 and could easily be 0-3. It's funny year. Funny season. Dubbies has spoken and says, what about me? Mate, who are you? I've never seen you on the channel before. Well, I've seen you on the channel before, but you've barely been here recently, Dubbies. What are you doing, mate? Where are you going? What's going on, mate? What are you doing, man? Someone's comment just disappeared. DMA Sports says Cowboys shouldn't finish top 4, but we've been surprising in the seasons before, and I'm hoping to finish closer to the 8 than expecting. You're closer to the 8. That's because I predicted you for the bottom 1. So you definitely will be closer than the 8. 6 nights is good on you. Respect to you, bro. Hopefully I see you drumming at the game. So I will be there every single Titans game. I do drum. I live 5 minutes from the stadium, and obviously I travel to away games all the time. I will be in Manly in about 3 weeks' time. I'll be at North Queensland in about 4 weeks' time. So it will be a good season. Adam Thompson, like I said, Titans Rays vlog comes out tomorrow, 5 p.m. AEST. Maybe 4 p.m. I might go 4 p.m. Adam Thompson says, which halfback do you think the Bulldogs should go after, bro? Which halfback is even off contract? I don't know. I don't know what halves are off contract, man. I'm not too sure what halves are off contract. Jay Hayes says, Blaze, can I please have your autograph to pick with you? You know what freaked me out? I think it's 2019, when I started to kind of get back into vlogs. 2019, I started to get back into being consistent because I went to Chicago and whatnot. I remember a kid came up to me and said, can you sign my jersey? And I felt awkward as I was like, I know that jersey's worth $160. You want me to sign it? This is 3 years ago. I think I had maybe 4,000 subscribers, 3,000 subscribers, something like that. And I think maybe even 2 or 3,000 subscribers. And some kid wanted me to sign it. And I was like, you sure? He goes, yeah. And I'm like, you sure? And he's like, yeah. So I was like, okay. And I did it. But yeah, Brookie shit weather too. Tasmate says, yeah, you guys wouldn't have had a good time there. But it does still, it weirds me out a little bit, but I'm used to kids coming up now and people come up now and saying hello, but not asking me to sign shit. It's still a bit weird for me. When we go to Penrith Stadium, if I had my laptop, when do we play you there? Do we play you there this year? Okay, so the Titans, they play the Panthers away. They do not, I don't think. So none. I will not be at Penrith this year. Unless maybe I go to the finals games, but we don't play in Penrith this year. We play at home at Seabass. We don't play in Penrith. So probably not this year, bro. Probably not this year. How long have we been going for? We're going for an hour and 45. So we've got to go for 15 minutes here, and then I'm jumping off. I need to go sleep. I'm tired. I need to edit a bit of the vlog too. Jay Hayes says, you come to the Origin in Perth. I considered it, but no, I'm not going to come to the Origin in Perth. Wonky Donkey, what a name. So I mentioned a bit back in my team in the UK, Featherstone Rovers, signed Joey Leilua. We've added former Titan Riley Jack to the roster now. Any thoughts on him? I know the name Riley Jacks. This is already telling you that this isn't great. But Riley Jacks, I know the name, might have played for the Titans very briefly, but definitely didn't do anything for the Titans. So I definitely think Joey Leilua was a good signing for you. But Riley Jacks, maybe not. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and show a player that I don't really know. I know the name. I know he played maybe for the Titans, maybe 1 or 2 games, but nothing significant. So, yeah. W. Spoken says 100, more than 100 players. More than 100 what? What are we talking about here? 100 what? DMH Sports, can you come to some Townsville games? I live in Gold Coast, so I'll be at the Titans versus Cowboys game, but that's about it, bro. I don't know what that comment was about, Duffy's. The Spacer says, I'll be at Eels Panthers round 9. I'm an Eels fan. Will you be at the game? So can I get a photo? You can get a photo, absolutely. You just got to come up and say hello, mate. But I won't be Eels Panthers. I'll be streaming that game. But if you see me in another game, I'll let it come up. Say hello. Xavier says, Amy Park full is one of the best stadiums. Well, okay, but it's not better than Seabass full. It's not better than Combank full. It's not better than Suncorp full. I would say it's not better than the SFS full, especially when that comes back. I would say it's better than Canberra full from what I saw on the weekend. I would say it's better than Newcastle full. I would say it's better than, I haven't been to Penrith yet, so I'm not going to make a call. Absolutely better than Campbelltown full. I think it'd be better than Leichhardt full. Anything beats Colgar in my opinion. Wynn Stadium doesn't really have, it's a great stadium, a great view, but shit atmosphere. Storm's a decent ground, but not that great overall. But it's still fine. But I definitely have other savings above it. DMH Sports says Tigers are going to win one game that's against themselves at training. Oh, dearie me. The Tigers are such a meme, man. They're just such a meme. Lucas Sharman says, how do you think the Rabbits played? I thought they played good. I tipped the Rabbits. Oh, for the members, you have to also be watching the stream because for members only, I do the tipping, obviously. The BKRsport tips where I go for about 20 minutes and I talk all things about. It's only $5 a month, guys. Only a price of a coffee a month. You get behind-the-scenes content and vlogs. You'll see a heap of behind-the-scenes vlog content from this week. You'll probably get an extra video this week too on the members only. Plus, you get NRL tips. You get Super Rugby tips. And you get a few extra other things. So definitely, if you have a spare $5, the pin comments in the chat. It does support the channel, gets me to more vlogs and gets me to more Panthers Eels games and whatnot as we continue to grow. But I still post billions, heaps of free content anyway, so don't worry about that. It's just that extra little bit. But I tipped the Roosters on that post, but on the stream beforehand, I said the Rabbits are going to win. On the stream, I said Rabbits are going to win. I changed my tip. So I changed it on the tipping website. I got 5 from 8 last week. I did a good this round. I got a good round. Better than half of you guys did, I'm telling you. Space says, will you beat Titans Eels? Of course I'll beat Titans Eels. I'm on the drums, man. I'm on the drum, man. What you mean? Of course I am. Adam said, I live 5 minutes from Seabus. I think the Bulldogs should go after Sean, who only signed for 1 year as a backup halfback. Who? Sean O'Sullivan? Sean O'Sullivan and Matt Burton probably aren't the greatest duo that I've seen. Not sure. Bulls Knicks tomorrow. We should have an easy win. Oh, I could stream tomorrow, to be fair. Is it really tomorrow? Are you sure it's tomorrow or is it on bloody Sunday? Not Sunday, sorry. On Wednesday. Hold on, I'm going to have a look here. 10 minutes to go, guys. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new. This Bulls next tomorrow at the Garden. I might do the Wizards game. I'm going to start with the Wiz. Yeah, tomorrow I can't do. I've got to search for a car. But on Wednesday, I will do that. I will definitely start that one. Actually, we'll go 3 more. Oh, no, this comment's going to be wrong. I already know it. DMH Sports says the old 1300 Smile Stadium was packed, was underrated. I love the new on, but I miss it, to be honest. Yeah, but it's not compared to these other games, in my opinion. Oh, shit, here we go again. Oh, no, what is that? Has the old mate turned up, has he? Has the old mate turned up? I'd love to see this, old mate. I'd love to see these comments. Dylan Curtin's Raiders will forever own the Titans. Mate, we beat you by 40 points last year. What are you talking about? Ryan Zarkos, we literally beat you in Canberra by 40 points last year and finished in the 8 above you. One game doesn't mean anything. We have a really good record in Canberra, actually. It was just unfortunately that we just couldn't get the win this one. But, bro, so this is what I'm saying, guys. Like, if you're going to talk shit, like, at least know what you're talking about. Because the last time we played them in Canberra, we beat them by 40 points. We put 44 points past them. Like, what do you mean Raiders will always own the Titans? You didn't even make the finals last year. And we did. Like, Ryan's like, I'm going to that Eels Titans game. Can't wait for it. Are you based on the coast? What's the next one here? Says you should do the Celtics games. Please shut up. Sebastian says, by the way, the Faraz was created on the 26th, not today, so he couldn't have adapted on the spot to your rumor, Pig Hunters. Oh, it's Faraz disappeared. Is that a fake Faraz? Was it today? Was it? I don't know. There's always fake Faraz for some reason. Max Watson says, how many weeks is Will Smith getting for his head high shot on Chris Rock? That was mad. Like, I didn't know that was legit at first. But yeah, that was mad. Like, the memes that have come from that is wild. But look, I'm on the side of that was a dick move. And it's not acceptable. It is literally assault. Chris Rock could absolutely sue the life out of Will Smith for that. Could sue the life out of him, which is wild, and especially with what we know with that Will Smith situation. I understand wanting to defend your wife, but like the joke wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. It's not like it was a heavy joke. It was just making a joke about lack of hair, which is an illness, but it's nothing really bad like what you obviously everyone's thinking. So yeah, look, obviously you don't like to hear it, but you go up on stage in front of the world and slap him. It's stupid, bro. It was wild. Adam Thompson says, or Tyson Gamble. Gamble's not getting a spot in. Gamble is the 4th placed 5'8" right now at the Broncos, and you want him? Tyson Gamble is 4 spots back at the Broncos, and that's who you want? Tyson Gamble can't even get a spot over Albert Kelly, who's about 400, who I love Albert Kelly, but he's about 40. You know, Ezra Mam's coming through, and who's the other 5'8" there? Billy Walters. I thought it was fake and just an actor acting. I don't think it was, though. Like, it didn't. It seemed like it at first, But then it was, yeah, I don't know. It was really odd. It was really odd. It could have been, mate. It could have been. I'm not sure. Dad's mate says, should do the Lakers, Mavs. Lakers about to start winning, rolling for the Plains. Are you guys in the Plains right now? Are you guys actually there? Are you guys actually in the Plains right now? I don't even know what you guys are doing over there. Standings. The Lakers are just in the Plains. You're only in by one win, one game, and that's over the Spurs. Jeez, you play the Mavs, and who the Spurs play? I don't play anyone tomorrow. Oh, Bucks 76ers. Oh, sorry. You play the Mavs then. Who the Spurs play tomorrow? Rockets. You might be out of the Plains tomorrow, I want the Lakers to be in it, though, because I want to see LeBron keep doing his thing, you know. Adam Thomas's Panthers go back to back. What do you think, bro? I wouldn't be surprised at all, man. I wouldn't be surprised at all. They're the only team that's looked good in the first 3 rounds. But with that being said, it's only been 3 rounds. Iron Rugby says, I reckon Reece Walsh will join Queensland State of Origin, but there are better fullbacks than him. Disagree. I think Ponga will be the fullback, and I think AJ Brimson will be the 14th man who will play, the Roma role of coming in for Munster. I think Brimo is much better in 14 role than Reece Walsh. Obviously, he played fullback at a Gold Coast Titans level and also is now playing 5'8" at the Gold Coast Titans level. Reece Walsh is definitely a fullback. And I think that, Brimo is probably that 14 role. So, no, I can't see Reece Walsh getting in over those 2 guys. But I definitely think he's third in line. Yeah, absolutely. But Reece Walsh's defense is what really lets him down overall, which is, been very disappointing. But, no, I don't think he gets the 14 role over Brimo, and I don't think he gets the fullback role over Callum Ponga. But if Callum Ponga is injured, they probably put Reece Walsh into the fullback and keep Brimo in the 14. This is something I wanted to respond to here. Absolutely. Gillo says, what did you make of the botched tackle count against the Titans? So what I say all the time, man, is that you are going to get dudded, right? But I'm going to clarify this because I don't believe the Titans lost this game because of this call. I think Titans lost this game on their own account, right? But what I will say is that there are going to be bad calls in the game. You need to adapt to them. Every team gets bad calls in a game. Look at the Warriors-Titans game. Warriors fans think they got hard done by, but yet they scored a forward pass and also a knock-on try, and they lost by 2 points, But they think the Titans robbed them. There's games all the time where teams are trying to say they get robbed, This call, and it's a tough one to answer because every single play call that gets made by a referee, whether correct or incorrect, changes the then outcome of the game. It changes the way the game is going to go forward. Now, you can see it from the perspective of okay, well, if the game was going to continue down this path, the Titans going to halftime at 22-0, and because the call was obviously wrong, they called it wrong. I didn't know it at the time. No one knew at the time. The NRL said that it was wrong, and they made the wrong decision, and the Raiders scored on the very next play because of it. But you can go one of 2 ways here. You can go the way of saying the referee changed this call, which then changes the entire outset of the game. Every single play from there on out is a different play. And they go to halftime at 22-0, and they probably win the game, the Titans. They do. They probably win the game. But you can't guarantee shit because you don't know how the second half would have played out, right? And then you go on the other side, and you think, because there's going to be a play there when he would have been maybe over there making another tackle, the whole layout change. Or then you can go this way and say, well, there's still 41 minutes to play there. It's like the Sharks-Cowboys 7-tackle set back in 2013 or something like that. There was still 70 minutes to play in that game, right? It changed it dramatically, but there was still 70 minutes for them to change the result of that game, the Cowboys. So there's those 2 ways you can go. Yes, the Titans probably do hold out if you're going down the direction that we've seen previously to that try. But then you can also go down the way of saying there was still 41 minutes to try and adjust it. That's what my response is to that. Up North Peak Hunter says his defense is sad. Yeah. Unfortunately, Reece Walsh's defense isn't exactly unbelievable here. It's not exactly fantastic. DMA Sport says LeBron is the GOAT and it's not a debate anymore. It absolutely is a debate. It just comes down to LeBron's probably the best individual player ever, but Michael Jordan is definitely the best team player ever. He's got 6 rings, and is 6-0 in the finals. LeBron is not. So it's definitely a debate. I'm a Chicago Bulls fan, but I also have grown up with LeBron, so I have no hate for either of them. Absolutely either of them. Adam Thomas says Ponga should stay at Newcastle and not go to Redcliffe. He would be crazy to go there. I don't think he's crazy to go there at all. He's going on to Wayne Bennett. But the thing is, though, is that people keep asking me, what do I think about Redcliffe going next year? I'm like, well, I don't know, because we don't know anything about them yet. We've only got 4 or 5 players signed. So that's about it for Redcliffe. They've only got 4 or 5 players signed. So No one knows anything. I'm going to answer one more question here, guys, and I'm going to jump off because we have been going for about 2 hours here. But like, obviously, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're around here. Don't forget, 5 p.m. tomorrow. Yes, I'll read that kind of say. 5 p.m. tomorrow, AEST. No, sorry, 4 p.m. tomorrow, AEST. The Titans versus Raiders vlog from GIO Stadium will come out. All right, 4 p.m. tomorrow, AEST. So 5 p.m. AEDT, that's when the vlog will come out. You finally caught up because you know why? It's because Fraz is not here anymore. Now, it's because at the beginning of the stream, you go in depth into everything, and then you kind of start condensing because you get tired, and then obviously you get to this stage here when now we're talking about NBA. Don't forget, guys, BKR clips will start back up tomorrow. I'm going to edit some of these clips here now to put onto that channel. That'll start tomorrow. And also, don't forget BKRsport USA will be up on Wednesday with the Chicago Bulls versus Washington Wizards as the first game back for that stream. So we'll get one more here, get one more question. Shoot through your final little questions here, guys. Shoot through your final little questions. I'll read this one out here, though. As soon as LeBron overtakes Kareem, will no longer be a debate. Yes, it will be. Yes, it will be. LeBron is the best individual player of all time, in my personal opinion. But LeBron is not the best team player of all time. LeBron is an unbelievable, ridiculously athletic, long endurance player that has been brilliant to watch. But there is absolutely still a debate. Just because you have more points than somebody else doesn't mean that you're better than somebody else in regards to all aspects of the game. You know, you got to remember that also Michael Jordan took 3 years off to play baseball, which he failed at, but he still took years off. You know what I'm saying? Like, he took years off. LeBron's been going since he was 18. He's had a longer chance to have those stats. So you've got to take everything into account. Oh, my God. I'm going to read this out. 1 Kobe, 2 Lonzo, 3 Swaggy P, 4 Jordan Clarkson, 5 Larry Nance Jr. Oh, yeah, and that guy that played the Bulls in the 90s. You're an idiot. You are an idiot. You are the definition of an idiot. But I'm going to jump off here, guys. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new here. Don't forget to follow us on BKRsport Instagram. We post there every single day on the stories. That's obviously when I'm not doing streams where we're jumping on. Well, even when we're doing streams, we're posting stories, we're doing posts and whatnot. Me at the games, talking, doing our thing over there. Obviously, we have on Facebook too. That's where we just share our videos and whatnot. And yeah, that's going to do us here for today's video. So I appreciate you guys as per usual, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. AEST for the Titans and Raiders vlog. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.